Postseason game for the first time since 2011. Fans are going crazy here in Milwaukee as we welcome you to the National League Division Series on FS1, presented by Doosan. We are moments away from Game 1 between the Brewers and the Colorado Rockies. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kenny Albert, flanked by a pair of World Series champions, five-time champ David Cohn and 2005 World Series champion A.J. Pierzynski. J.P. Morosi will join us from the field as well. The Brewers and Rockies, two teams most people outside Milwaukee and Denver did not expect to be here in the NLDS, but here they are. The winner of this best-of-5 will move on to the National League Championship Series. And A.J., these teams finished in the top three, 2 and 3 in home runs in the National League during the regular season. Numerous all-stars on both sides.
Well, if you like home runs, you like offense, this is the series to tune into. We have 4 of the 5 top National League home run hitters in Jesus Aguilar, Christian Yelich, Nolan Arenado, and Trevor Story. For the Rockies, Arenado and Story, the left side of their infield is what makes them go. Arenado, perennial MVP candidate. Trevor Story, under the radar, but also in the MVP candidate discussion this year. Jesus Aguilar for the Brewers. Waiver claim off Cleveland Indians last year, all he's done since he's got here and hit. And then the star of stars, Christian Yelich, the MVP for the National League. He's going to be, I'm calling it now, but he's the MVP. If you like home runs, you like offense, Miller Park, Coors Field, they're going to be hit, and they're going to be hit often.
And if you like pitching, David, certainly a contrast in philosophies on both sides for Game 1.
Well, there really is. You get classic old school and new school, and Bud Black, as an old school manager, really values innings from his starting pitching. They lead the league in quality starts at innings pitched in their rotation. Their bullpen's been better lately, so that I think that gives them some trust. On the other side, Craig Counsell, you're not going to see his starting pitcher go to the 3rd time through the order. He's going to get to that bullpen as quickly as possible. He's got a lot of good weapons to go to as well.
So Game 1 coming up. It's the Brewers and the Rockies. How did these teams get here? They both celebrated at Wrigley Field earlier this week. First, it was the Brewers in the tiebreaker for the division, and then the Rockies defeating the Cubs in 13 in the wild card game late Tuesday night. Game 1, NLDS, coming up next. Back in Milwaukee, Game 1, National League Division Series from Miller Park. Just after 4 Central here in Milwaukee, the roof is closed as 25-year-old Brandon Woodruff heads out to the mound. Started 4 games this season for the Brewers, came out of the bullpen 15 times. His manager Craig Counsell said yesterday there are many different ways to get 27 outs, so it will be Woodruff to start for the Milwaukee Brewers this afternoon in Game 1 against Bud Black's Colorado Rockies, who won a franchise record 44 games on the road this season. Rockies fell 1 shy of their franchise record for wins at 91 and 72. For Bud Black's Rockies in Game 1, Charlie Blackmon, center fielder, will lead off, followed by DJ LeMahieu, then Nolan Arenado. David Dahl in the cleanup spot, followed by Trevor Story, Carlos Gonzalez, then Ian Desmond, Chris Iannetta, and the Rockies starting pitcher, Antonio Senzatella. Brandon Woodruff up and down 5 times this season since his last recall in early September. 7 appearances, all out of the pen. His last start with the Brewers took place in Philadelphia back on the 10th of June.
Yeah, an interesting choice for Craig Counsell. I know, AJ, we were talking about maybe Gio Gonzalez. He had other options, but Woodruff has started before, so he feels like he won't be overwhelmed, but maybe once or twice through the lineup, 4 innings tops would be a perfect world.
When's the last time a guy started Game 1 of a playoff series that was up and down and recalled? It was a September call-up, so that shows you the faith Craig Counsell has and what he believes in the analytics side of pitching, and they want him to get 1 time, maybe 3 innings, 4 innings if they can, but then it's all hands on deck, and we could see Gio Gonzalez out of the bullpen.
Something that nobody has seen since 2009. Gio Gonzalez out of the pen.
And Craig Counsell said, we don't know how he's going to react. How long is it going to take him to warm up? We can't say, hey, you got to be up there in 2 hitters ready to go. So Gio's in for it, and when he does get in there out of the bullpen, it'll be something new and something to look forward to.
There's Gio. Acquired just prior to the deadline from the Washington Nationals. All set, first pitch here in Milwaukee. Ball 1 to Charlie Blackmon. Blackmon, LeMahieu, and Arenado for the Rockies, who went 4 hours 55 minutes against the Cubs late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. Pulled it out in 13 innings, 2-1. Longest postseason elimination game in Major League Baseball history. A 1-1 to Blackmon. Ryan Braun in left field is under it. One away. Defensively for the Brewers, Braun, Kane, Yelich in the outfield from left to right. Around the infield, Aguilar, Shaw, Arcia, Moustakas, and the battery of Woodruff and Manny Pena. One away, here's DJ LeMahieu. National League batting champ back in 2016, 2-time All-Star. 3 for 5 lifetime against Woodruff. Fastball missing inside. Ball 1.
And Craig Counsell talked about Woodruff and the velocity spike that he's gotten since he's been moved to the pen. Jumped up into the mid-90s with that running 2-seam fastball.
The 1-0 from Woodruff. Woodruff, a starter throughout his minor league career. And as we mentioned, only 4 starts and 19 appearances with the Brewers guys this season.
Now, does velocity always spike when you go to the bullpen, David? You pitched in both, correct? So did your velocity go up when you went to the bullpen? Is there a mindset difference?
Definitely. You know, we see a lot of failed starters that go to the pen and end up going maximum effort for 1 or 2 innings.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Wade Davis, the closer for the Rockies, who's had a phenomenal career as a closer, came up. I remember facing him as a starter. And then we went to the bullpen, and his 92 fastball was 99 all of a sudden, and his slider was harder than his fastball used to be. So it does increase.
The 2-1 from Brandon Woodruff, now 2-2. Arenado waiting on deck, 1 out. Top of the first inning. The 2-2 to LeMahieu. Full count.
It's almost as if the crowd lets you know how big this game is, and as a player you can't help but feel that on the field. Every pitch is so scrutinized in the playoffs, which, AJ, is another test for relievers that are going to be starting in this postseason, as we saw last night in the Oakland Yankee game.
Payoff pitch from Woodruff. Missing inside, a 1-out walk. LeMahieu to first.
The shadows here in Miller Park are something to keep your eye on. They have a different perspective. They have these windows here in the corners on the sides. You see them in the background there, but that one's the big one. It's behind the first base dugout, and the sun sets, and it just casts a weird shadow over the field that affects hitting, pitching, and fielding. The left side of the field is just in the sun, where everything else is in a shadow. So it's something to keep an eye on, especially as this game goes and while the shadow's out there.
So here's Nolan Arenado, National League home run champ this season with 38.
Somebody close the drapes, right?
Yeah.
Need some window treatments up there.
We're actually lucky we started a little bit later. If you play a 1 o'clock game here, the shadows are all over the infield, and it is a little difficult to hit at times.
We'll start an hour earlier tomorrow, game 2 here at Miller Park.
The hitters will be complaining, trust me, about the shadows.
LeMahieu, the runner on first. The 1-0 to Arenado in for a called strike from Woodruff, 1-1.
Pitch number 12 on the way here in the first inning, 1 out. Trying to jump ahead so far, 0 for 3 on first pitch strikes.
Line drive caught by the third baseman Moustakas for out number 2.
Really nice play by Moustakas. Arenado rockets this ball. He almost missed it. I think the sun might have played some tricks on him, fooled him on the speed, but almost popped out of his glove there. He jumped too high. His adrenaline might be flowing a little bit. Over jumped it almost. Made the catch, and big second out for the Milwaukee Brewers here.
Moustakas, World Series champion back in 2015 with Kansas City. So 2 away. Here's David Dahl, a reigning National League Player of the Week. Final week of the regular season. Dahl with 6 home runs in his last 7 regular season games. But he went 0 for 6 against the Cubs on Tuesday.
There's always one, Kenny, that doesn't get a hit in the 13, 14 inning game. There's always one guy. How many times you see a guy playing indoors with the roof closed and has to have sunglasses? We talked about the shadows. He has sunglasses on his hat even though we're inside and there's no roof. So that shows you how bad the sun and the shadows can be here at Miller Park.
2-1.
Woodruff's main weapon against left-handed batters, that changeup. Pretty good one there on 2-0 and got it in the zone.
Runner on first, 2 outs, top of the first inning. And now the fans rise here at Miller Park. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 from Woodruff. And Dahl got a piece on it to stay alive.
It's an incredible feeling when you're on the mound and the crowd is that into the game, especially with 2 strikes.
In the first inning.
It just lets you know where you are.
You're the only game in town right now. Everyone's eyes are on this game. It's the playoffs. Everyone's watching. Everyone's scrutinizing every pitch.
The 2-2 from Woodruff. Another foul. LeMahieu on the move. Throw to second is in time to get LeMahieu. We head to the bottom of the first in Milwaukee. In Milwaukee, we head to the bottom of the first inning for the Brewers. In the series opener, Lorenzo Cain will lead off, followed by Christian Yelich, then Ryan Braun. Middle of the order, Shaw, Aguilar, Moustakas, Pena, Arcia, Woodruff. Brewers getting set to face the 23-year-old right-hander Antonio Senzatella, native of Venezuela. His first 10 appearances this season out of the pen. His last 13 appearances all starts.
Yeah, probably you would consider the back end of the Rocky rotation, but Bud Black still would like to get him through 6 if possible.
Lorenzo Cain swings at the first pitch. Grounds out to the third baseman, Nolan Arenado, one away.
The top of the first ended with a throw out by Manny Pena. What a throw. The ball brought him perfect position. LeMahieu thought he got a good jump, but watch his eyes. He's peeking at LeMahieu. He might have caught something. They might have tipped something off that he's thinking about going. But even when Woodruff is in mid windup, he's still looking. The ball takes him to a perfect throwing position, and there was a perfect strike down there to nail LeMahieu and get Woodruff out of the first inning.
With one away, here's Christian Yelich. Is he your National League MVP?
I think
He's mine.
Yeah, excuse me.
I already said it. He's mine.
The way he finished the season speaks volumes.
First Brewer to win a league batting title at 326. Came close to a triple crown. 2 home runs shy and 1 RBI shy.
I thought it would have been cool. Game 1, they had game 163 against the Cubs. He was 1 homer shy, 2 RBI shy. He already had the batting title locked up. He came up with first and second at one point. I was like, if this guy hits a home run.
Senzatella off the mound. The throw out Yelich for out number 2.
If he would have hit a home run in that situation and that pressure and won the Triple Crown because of that, there's been no better story in the history of baseball and Triple Crowns and batting titles and things like that than that situation to do it.
I still think the best player in the National League, and AJ, you're not going to like this, is Jacob deGrom.
He's not a player.
There you go. It's already on. We're already going to go at it.
There we go. First inning.
He's a pitcher. When he plays the field, then we'll talk about it. He's the best pitcher in the National League.
To be continued. Here's Ryan Braun. Senzatella retiring the first 2 Brewers on 4 pitches, Kane and Yelich. Braun, the 6-time All-Star. 5 home runs. His last 7 games. Braun, the only Milwaukee Brewer remaining from their last postseason team back in 2011. His manager Craig Counsell was an active player with the Brewers that season. Fifth all-time trip to the postseason for both the Brewers in 49 years in Milwaukee and the Rockies in their 26 seasons. Base hit into left field off the bat of Braun. 2-out base runner for Milwaukee.
It's always nice to get your first hit. Changeup from Senzatella. Right on right changeup, a pitch that's become very popular these days. Braun does a nice job shooting it through the 5-6 hole. Wanted it in, left it out over the plate. Ryan Braun does what you're supposed to do, and that's banging into left field. Huge sigh of relief, Coney. You get your first hit in the playoff series. Woo! You can relax now and go about playing regular baseball.
It's a big deal, isn't it? There's still human beings playing this game. Heartbeat in the postseason.
Ball 1 to Travis Shaw, who hit a career-high 32 home runs this season, 4 against Colorado.
First hit in the playoffs and the playoff series is huge. Get it out of the way. It's like the first hit on opening day. You just want to get that first one so you have something on the board. And Ryan Braun was the first one for the Brewers.
For the pitcher, get through the first inning.
Travis Shaw rocking the red batting gloves today. Don't really match the uniform that the Brewers have, but I asked him about it yesterday. He came from the Red Sox. I thought he got confused about when he was with the Red Sox and the equipment manager had given him the wrong ones, but he said no, superstition. Every time I wear these we have a good game, so he's sticking with the red.
Now 2-1.
Turned out to be a pretty good trade for the Brewers. Shaw has been so productive here. Of course, Thornburg, the reliever who went back to the Sox, has had his injury issues, was a high-quality reliever, but was hard to stay healthy.
Shaw, the team most valuable player last year in his first season in Milwaukee. The 2-1 from Senzatella, now 2-2.
He came up as a third baseman slash first baseman because of the Brewers acquisitions of Moustakas and Scope and Aguilar doing what he's doing. He's now playing second base, so you don't often see a guy move from third base to second base after being the team MVP, but it just shows you what these Brewers are about. Play anywhere, do anything to win.
Aguilar on deck should Shaw reach. 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. Braun takes his lead off first. The 2-2 gets away from the catcher Iannetta. Braun around second, wide turn, and then heads back.
Well, you can see right there, the ball's in the dirt right underneath the glove. It almost looked like he was a little late to react and thought maybe he was going to get there in the air, and the ball slid right underneath the glove. And then beyond that, couldn't find the ball. What's that feel like, AJ, when you can't find the ball and you're the catcher and Ryan Braun's thinking about going to third?
Well, luckily for Iannetta, the backstop here is fairly close, but Ryan Braun, take it easy, big fella. You're in scoring position with 2 outs in the first inning. Let's give Travis Shaw here a chance to drive you in.
Senzatella only 1 wild pitch during the regular season in 90 innings. Putting Braun into scoring position, and now ball 4 to Travis Shaw. First and second with 2 outs. Well, AJ, you talked about Aguilar in the open. Acquired on waivers from Cleveland prior to last season. Spent 9 years in the Indians organization. Look at those numbers.
The Indians they couldn't find a spot for him. They weren't sure he was going to be their first baseman. They had Edwin Encarnacion locked in as DH. They just couldn't find a spot for him. The Brewers picked him up, and he's done nothing but hit since he's come to Milwaukee. He's improved his defense at first, and an all-star year and a very valuable player for these Brewers.
Another pitch gets away from Iannetta. Braun around third, heading home. Throw to the plate, and Braun is tagged out to end the inning. 2 wild pitches, but the Brewers could not take advantage. On FS1 is presented by Doosan, official partner of Major League Baseball, and is sponsored by Indeed, the world's #1 job site, and by T-Mobile. Whether you're home or away, T-Mobile has you covered. Miller Park in Milwaukee. Ryan Braun attempted to score from second on the wild pitch, tagged out by Senzatella at the plate. So now Dahl will lead off for Colorado here in the top of the second inning. Dahl saw 7 pitches in the first before LeMahieu was caught stealing to end the inning.
Yeah, both pitchers, I think, got a gift. And if I'm on the mound, AJ, I'm saying thank you for the free out. Outs are a commodity. There's 27 of them, and both starting pitchers in the first inning got a gift out.
Always hate to give pitchers out, but especially in the first inning when they're after a walk and Dahl's having a good at bat. And then Senzatella clearly struggling with his heartbeat, like you talked about, his emotions, his adrenaline. 2 wild pitches in the inning, and Ryan Braun tries to score from second and gets banged out at the plate. So outs that are much needed by both teams. They appreciate them, but tough when you're on offense.
A 1-2 from Woodruff to Dahl, and he lifts this one foul down the right field line.
Well, it's tough to face this guy anyway. You see, that's pretty wide there. And that's on the pitcher. That's a wild pitch. And great job by Iannetta to go there, slide, and get the ball back to Senzatella in a hurry. So nice recovery by Iannetta, and I still stand by that. You're facing Aguilera with Moustakas on deck, and now all of a sudden you're out of the inning.
called strike 3. Dahl down on strikes.
A lawn dart, and Inetta tries to stop, does everything he can, loses it for a second, but the slide is the key. He slides perfectly and throws a strike. And I love Senzatella looking at Braun like, what are you, crazy, man? Why are you trying to score on that one? Thanks for the free out. But putting his nose in there like a player, even though he's a pitcher, and then the look, Braun's like, ah. Oh. And now Chris Iannetta's trying to calm him down a little bit.
An awkward slide for Braun. I thought he was hurt there for a minute.
Right about now, Ryan Braun's like, please miss it. Little stare down. Pitchers, they love the stare down hitters. They love it.
Trevor Story takes ball 2.
We let you have bat flips. We got to have something.
You guys get the stares, we get bat flips? Okay.
And David, that's the second time in 2 innings AJ mentioned, well, if a certain pitcher was a player.
That's right.
Pitchers are non-athletes. Yes, I heard it my whole career.
Story lets this one into right. Yelich moving to his left to retire Trevor Story. 2 out.
Pitchers are the only guys that aren't allowed to catch pop-ups on the field.
It's working out so far for Woodruff. A chance for a 1-2-3 inning, but it's not because of first pitch strikes. 0 for 6.
And that includes Dahl twice.
I was going to say, does that count on Dahl twice because he had basically 2 at-bats?
In each of the first 2 innings. So here's Carlos Gonzalez with 2 away, top of the 2nd inning. 3-time All-Star, his 10th season with the Rockies.
You know, the old pitcher's cliche, AJ, and you hear it all the time. You got to get ahead, throw strike 1. Well, major league pitchers on average only do that 6 out of 10 times. So the other 4 out of 10, you got to pitch from behind and throwing change-ups, pitching backwards. Woodruff's changeup has really saved him against left-handed hitters to get back in count so far.
Woodruff faced the Rockies once this season in Denver. A start he would like to forget back in May. Allowed 7 earned runs, 9 hits in 3 innings. But that game was at Coors Field. To the right side, backhanded by Aguilar, and with Woodruff covering, Gonzalez is retired. So Woodruff has faced the minimum, starting the game for the Brewers over the first 2 innings.
Show me the MLB postseason schedule.
Bottom of the 2nd inning in Milwaukee as Aguilar steps in once again, facing Antonio Senzatella. Aguilar at the plate when Senzatella threw his 2nd wild pitch of the 1st inning. Braun tagged out, attempting to score all the way from 2nd. So another opportunity for Aguilar, who hit 35 home runs, 5th in the National League, drove in 108.
Great balance in this Brewer lineup through the first 6 hitters. Right, left, right, left, right, left, and Moustakas on deck.
The 0-2 is in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And another lawn dart there from Senzatella. Only 1 wild pitch during the season. He's already got 2, and great stop by Chris Iannetta, even though Aguilar didn't swing, and keeping another ball from going to the backstop.
Now the 1-2. Aguilar left center. Dahl makes the catch. 1 away for more on 23-year-old Antonio Senzatella, who signed with the Rockies at the age of 16 out of Venezuela, down to J.P. Morosi.
Kenny, Senzatella is from Valencia, Venezuela, the same hometown as Felix Hernandez. And as he took the mound today, he was thinking of the same person he always does, his late mother, Nydia. Nydia passed away in July of 2016. Last year, he very poignantly started on Mother's Day. And as we see today, Kenny, before every single game, as he told Rockies broadcaster Ryan Spilborghs, he looks to the sky and talks to his mother. He says, "I love you. Every pitch is for you. This is the dream we wanted. We're living it now."
All right, thanks, JP. Senzatella facing Mike Moustakas with one out. And Moustakas with a drive to right, caught by Gonzalez. 2 away. Senzatella with some positive memories from Miller Park. Made his major league debut in this ballpark back in April of 2017. Did not allow a run. Only 2 hits in 5 innings. His only career appearance in Milwaukee until today, and that started a terrific first month of his major league career. He was named the National League Rookie of the Month in April of 2017.
Yeah, nice memories are good to have. I mean, this is playoff baseball. I don't know how much that will impact him. Maybe on a comfort level in his own mind, it helps.
Would it help you if you had terrific numbers in a specific park mentally?
It's on small sample sizes, it can be very deceiving. It's a different lineup, different year, especially different time of year in postseason.
Oh, come on. Yes, it helped you. You knew that. You knew where you pitched well. You knew where you were comfortable as a hitter. You know where you like to hit.
I don't think I would feel well after just one start. Maybe if I had 15 or 20 at Fenway Park, I might feel good about it.
I guess it helped you, AJ?
Absolutely. You knew when you were 3 for 4 off a guy with a homer. You knew when you were 0 for 6 off a guy. You knew all that stuff because all the information that's presented to every player now. So, man, when I would wake up in the morning, I'd see a guy that I was 4 for 5 off of. I couldn't wait to get to the park, and then you find the guy you're 0 for 10 off of, and your back gets a little tighter, your hamstrings start tightening up. I mean, you know those things as a player.
Now the 2-0 to Pena, in for a called strike, 2-1.
That's an interesting point, and that's really the battle nowadays. Most of the analytics teams in the major leagues will discard that information. Too small of a sample size. Not a good predictor of what's going to happen next.
Pena with a bloop down the line and right. Second base hit of the game for the Brewers.
Just a jam shot off the label. Perfect placement by Manny Pena. As a pitcher, that makes you a little mad when they just make a great pitch and they throw it over an infielder's head for a knock.
Both Brewers base hits have come with 2 outs.
Yeah, excuse me, Kenny. Yeah, Moustakas hit one 108 miles an hour for an out. That one was 70 miles an hour for a hit.
Right. So here's Orlando Arcia. First pitch, shortstop Story. They get the lead runner, and that will do it for the Brewers. No score through 2. Albert, AJ Pierzynski, David Cohn, and JP Morosi. No score. Ball 1 to Ian Desmond leading off for the Rockies, bottom of the order. Desmond, Iannetta, Senzatella. How long has Ian Desmond been around? He was drafted by the Montreal Expos back in 2004, prior to the move to Washington.
Last player, right? Correct? Last player drafted by the Expos.
I miss Montreal. What a good city that was to go to.
I missed it. I never got to go.
Oh,
Everyone
you
said
missed it. That's fantastic.
How
during the
great
summer.
Montreal was. The one time I had a chance when I was in the National League, we went to Puerto Rico instead of Montreal with the Giants. So I miss Montreal. But I have heard that from every single player that went to Montreal, how much they loved it.
Senzatella in the Rockies dugout. Desmond played it all but 2 games during the regular season for the Rockies. He fouls it back to stay alive. Two-time All-Star, hit 22 home runs this season, drove in 88 runs.
Unusual season, 2020. 20 stolen bases, 20 homers, but just a 729 OPS.
Woodruff threw 30 pitches over the first 2 innings. Count full to Ian Desmond. Chris Iannetta waiting on deck.
Now, normally you'd be like, wow, what a great at bat here by Ian Desmond. You're getting the pitch count up on the starter, but with it being a bullpen day and Woodruff being the opener, as they call it now, you don't care about pitch count. He's having a great at bat, but if you get a hit on the first pitch or the 7th pitch, it doesn't really matter as long as you get on base for your team.
Desmond strikes out, 1 away.
Well, as you notice, Woodruff is going to choose not to come in from the dugout because he's used to being in the pen. And he's going to come in from the pen because he knows it takes him less time to warm up. He wants to stay hot. This is more of his normal routine of coming in to relieve a game, only as a starter, entering from the bullpen.
Did you ever do that? Ever take the field from the bullpen instead of the dugout with your boys?
Only on the visitor's side, when you'd hang in the bullpen as a starter to time your warm-up. Sometimes when you're the visiting pitcher and you finish your warm-ups, you go sit in the dugout and you have a long top of the first inning. You could wait a half hour or longer. So some pitchers will stay down in the bullpen and kind of follow along the top of the first.
Iannetta hitting against the shift. 2 away. Back down to JP.
Kenny, speaking of Woodruff's routine, he was here on the field in full batting practice uniform 4 hours before the game, throwing, loosening up with the rest of the relievers, something a starting pitcher would almost never do at this time of year or any other, just really emphasizing this is an extended relief outing in his mind.
And JP, Woodruff is scheduled to lead off for the Brewers in the next half inning. And we see action in the Milwaukee pen. Corbin Burns getting loose. Senzatella during the regular season, 2 hits in 24 at bats. You know, Woodruff would love an opportunity to hit. He hit a home run during the regular season in Pittsburgh.
All pitchers love to hit. At least they think they do.
When the Brewers come up to bat on the Jumbotron in center field, the scoreboard, they have the OPSs of all the players. Woodruff has the 2nd highest OPS in the Brewer lineup today. I think it's 958, so of course he wants to hit. Yelich has 1,000. He's higher than Kane, Aguilar, Moustakas, all of them, so he wants to hit.
The 1-2 to Senzatella, missing low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So with Burns up and throwing, the Brewers have 6 extra position players. Do you use one this early, or do you let Woodruff hit if you're going to take him out?
Especially leading off the inning, I think, is the key. If you're going to give away an out, you let the pitcher hit. leading off the inning, even though it's this early, is debatable.
My question is, Woodruff pitching so well, why not run him back out there?
At most, you're probably going to get one more inning out of Woodruff.
Well, Craig Counsell told us before the game, quote, Woodruff is capable of 4 innings today.
Now, my choice would be to pinch hit for him. You got a plus out of him. Great job. Get out of this inning first. You got a plus. Great job. Hit the showers.
Payoff pitch. Senzatella stays alive.
Corbin Burns is a high-quality arm for them, ready to go, warming up now.
And I think if you watch Craig Counsell just call down, the bullpen coach picked up the phone and looked at him and said, "You're in the game." So we're going to see a pinch hitter. The question is, who's it going to be?
8th pitch of the at-bat to the opposing pitcher is a called strike 3. So Woodruff faces the minimum 9 batters over the first 3 innings. Christian Yelich will bat 3rd for the Brewers when we return. DS on FS1, presented by Doosan. Bottom of the 3rd inning. Here's Brandon Woodruff, Brewers starter, congratulated by his teammates. Did not allow a hit in 3 innings, faced the minimum, 9 batters, 48 pitches, and his day is done as Domingo Santana will pinch hit for Milwaukee, leading off here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
How can Craig Counsell take out a guy throwing a no-hitter, Coney? In his first playoff start, he's got a no-hitter. Leave the man in.
Very much the new school philosophy going on here.
Absolutely.
First pitch to Santana is a called strike 1. He's a terrific pinch hitter. Finished 3rd in the league with 12 pinch hits, 8 in the month of September, 8 for his last 18 as a pinch hitter for Milwaukee.
Well, here's where the opener, as they're calling it now, starting a bullpen guy in the National League comes into play. You lose one of your best pinch hitters here with nobody on in the top of, or in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So
Santana pops it up, towering pop up back behind second base. 1 out as LeMahieu makes the catch to retire Santana.
not only do you lose Woodruff, who's pitched great for 3 innings, but you also just burned Santana in the 3rd inning, and I don't want to say a meaningless at bat, but bottom of the 3rd, nobody on. That guy gets big hits with guys on base. You try to want to save him for later in the game in a bigger situation, but because of the way they're playing it, you burn Santana, and now he's done for the game.
Guy who had 30 home runs last year. Just shows you the importance that Counsell and the Brewers put on getting a lead early because of the dominance of their bullpen. Trying any way they can to draw first blood here in this game.
So here's Lorenzo Cain, who grounded out on the first pitch. His first time up. January 25th, such an important day for the Brewers. The acquisition of both Cain and Yelich. And as Craig Counsell told us earlier, we win because of Yelich, Cain, and our bullpen.
Yelich and Cain are superstars, but they also do a lot of the little things well. They run the bases well. They play excellent defense.
Now 2-1. Cain won a World Series, played in 2 with the Royals. He was the ALCS MVP back in 2014. Began his career in Milwaukee and then went to Kansas City for 7 seasons. 2-2.
A lot of people
Yelich waiting on deck.
A lot of people were surprised that the Brewers of all teams signed Cain to a big deal, a big contract this offseason, but they obviously knew him. They developed him when he came up first with the Brewers, so when they're looking to make a big investment, this was a guy they knew they could count on. They knew what they were getting.
And the Brewers as a team, 200+ home runs and 100 steals. And among all the teams left in the playoffs, they have the most defensive runs saved. So they beat you a lot of different ways, and all around well-rounded team, rather.
Yeah, thanks in large part to Lorenzo Cain defensively. One out, bottom of the third inning. Payoff pitch to Cain is ball 4. Second walk issued by Senzatella as Christian Yelich steps to the plate. Acquired by the Brewers from the Marlins back on January 25th. How about his numbers in the second half following the All-Star break? And his final numbers this season. Challenge for the Triple Crown. What a year.
People questioned the Brewers when they made the trade. Said, Yelich, you saw the tweets and the reaction from fans. He's just an average player.
First pitch, deep center field. Blackman looks up. It is gone. A 2-run shot off the bat of Christian Yelich. 2-0 Brewers. First pitch to Ryan Braun. 0-1. David, you were just talking about the power numbers for Milwaukee. Yelich, 36 home runs during the regular season.
He hits the ball all over the park. How impressive was that, AJ? The other way, that was a bomb, left center.
107 miles an hour off the bat, but a line drive. It didn't get much higher than 25, 30 feet in the air, but just shows you from line to line the power that Christian Yelich possesses. We got cut off by his home run. People were saying he's an average player. Well, he said, hey, take this. I'm going to be the MVP of the National League, so I'm the best player in the league this year. He loves the first pitch. I love the first pitch. Great pitch to hit.
Just lit this crowd on fire, and of course you see the circle change. Problem is there's no circle and no change. It just sits right there. And the impressive part is on an off-speed pitch that he stayed back on that and hit that ball the other way, or left center. Shows you how good his timing is right now.
It's easy to second-guess pitch calling, but I never loved the first pitch changeup to any hitter, unless you have a changeup of a Pedro Martinez or just one that's absolutely nasty and dives down. But when you're throwing almost a straight change on a first pitch, you're not changing up from anything. It's just another pitch. So unless you set that up through numerous at bats, the first at bat throwing them in, getting them off that, but a first pitch changeup, it better be down and it better not be up, or a guy like Christian Yelich can go left center on a line drive for a home run.
Full count. One out. Braun at the plate. We skip school to watch our MVP. And it paid off for those Brewers fans as Yelich goes deep here in the third inning.
Absolutely. It's a cultural event here in Milwaukee. Write an essay afterwards.
We asked Craig Counsell about Christian Yelich. He said he's humble, great kid. He said early in the season he kept telling his manager, I stink, I stink. Wouldn't you love to stink like Christian Yelich this year?
You know, AJ's point is well taken, and Kenny, it's absolutely true that everybody that's been around Yelich has been saying this guy's, he's going to take the next step. The talent's there. He is an MVP caliber player, and since the second half started, finally, you're seeing exactly how talented this kid really is.
And for months and months, Javi Baez of the Cubs was the front runner for MVP. Well, much like the Brewers did to the Cubs in the NL Central by snatching it away, Christian Yelich has kind of come out of nowhere and snatched away the MVP from Javi Baez, in my opinion. JP Morosi, I think he has a vote. Maybe he can add in here. He won't tell us who he's voting for, though.
A couple of Rockies players, too, might have something to say about that. And you mentioned in the pregame, Trevor Story and, of course, Nolan Arenado is always in that conversation.
Braun, a former National League MVP back in 2011. Last time the Brewers went to the postseason. Senzatella wins the battle. Now 2 away. JP.
Well, AJ, I am not an NL MVP voter, but if I were, I would vote for Christian Yelich. And I would say on that point as well, there's a reason why he was batting third for Team USA at the World Baseball Classic last year. Nolan Arenado did a little bit as well, but Yelich was right there, very much impressed Jim Leyland on that team last season.
So who you voting for in the American League?
Now that I can't tell you. Jack O'Connell from the BBWA would not be happy with me if I revealed that on the air right now.
JP, where's Jacob deGrom on your ballot?
So I can talk about that. Not a voter for the Cy Young, but I would vote deGrom #1 there in the NL Cy Young race.
No MVP votes. He's not even on your list.
MVP, see, for me, Coney, I still go with the team success. I know I'm a bit old-fashioned in that regard, but I want the MVP to have team success. The Cy Young is different. Cy Young is just best pitcher. But the MVP, I believe, contribution to his team. Team winning is still what we value most in baseball.
JP, let's not forget that Jacob deGrom is a pitcher, and they have a pitching award, and there's an MVP award for players that play every day.
Fair. But I would say, AJ, that if there was a pitcher who I believed was the single greatest factor in his team making the playoffs, I would consider voting for that pitcher #1 on an MVP ballot.
So I guess JP would not have voted for Andre Dawson back in the day.
Exactly. I mean, how can you penalize Jacob deGrom for the players around him? It's not his fault.
And I wouldn't in the Cy Young vote. But the MVP, Coney, is a different story.
JP, I'm beginning to like you more and more the more you talk, so keep going.
Thanks, guys.
Now 3-1 on Shaw, who walked his first time up.
Okay, I'm okay. Thanks, Kenny. I got my little pitcher rant out of the way. I'm okay now. Back to the game.
It's a long series. Christian Yelich has given the Brewers the lead, 2-0, bottom of the 3rd inning, over the Colorado Rockies. Shaw takes strike 2, full count. The off pitch from Senzatella, pop foul.
There's obviously a lot of Yelich fans here in Milwaukee. There's like 30 Yelich jerseys in one section.
Ground ball to the right side against the shift. And a nice play by Trevor Story to throw out Travis Shaw. But the Brewers have taken the lead. Christian Yelich goes deep. Game 1 of the NL Division Series as the Brewers celebrate. 2-0 Milwaukee. 23-year-old right-hander Corbin Burns out of the Brewers pen on in relief of Brandon Woodruff, who did not allow a run or a base hit in 3 innings. There's Gio Gonzalez on the right, up and throwing in the Brewers pen. Blackman pops out. 1 away here in the top of the 4th inning. Charlie Blackman now 0 for 2. 30 appearances during the regular season with the Brewers for Burns, finished with a record of 7-0. Earned run average of 2.61. 4th round pick back in 2016. 3rd season in the Brewers organization. Will now face DJ LeMahieu, who walked in the 1st inning and then was caught stealing to end the inning. Rockies have now scored only 1 run in their last 15 innings. They scored in the 1st inning at Wrigley in the wild card game, and then again in the 13th. They scored only 2 runs against the Dodgers in the tiebreaker game on Monday, and then 2 more. It was enough. 2-1 over the Cubs in the wild card matchup on Tuesday night.
It's been such an emotional roller coaster ride. Even though you're running on adrenaline, AJ, sooner or later the fatigue catches up with you.
And as much as they say they needed the off day yesterday, sometimes you don't want that off day because you're riding the high from the day before, the game before, getting in, and just keep going. Just keep going. We're winning. We're finding ways to figure it out. Even though you're tired, sometimes off days can come at the wrong time.
The quote off day was yesterday, but they arrived at about 4:30 in the morning Central yesterday. It doesn't feel like yesterday, but it was, following the win over the Cubs. They had an optional workout here at Miller Park in the late afternoon.
Nothing like a 4 o'clock in the morning bus ride. Up on the bus, Gus. Let's come on up here to Milwaukee from Chicago after a huge win at Wrigley.
And the day before, they had to fly from Los Angeles to Chicago and got in about 2:30 in the morning.
I guarantee you the plane flight was a lot worse than the bus ride. They lost the game in LA and flew to Chicago. It was probably a little somber. They beat the Cubs to get to the DS in the wild card game. That was a little bit more raucous, a little more fun.
Call strike 3. LeMahieu down on strikes.
Corbin Burns is kind of like a secret weapon in that his fastball slider combination gets out lefties and righties. You see that fastball right there, designed to be away, ends up in. LeMahieu thinks it's down a bit. His opinion doesn't matter.
So now Arenado lined out to Moustakas at 3rd, his first time up. Three infielders to the left side. And now Shaw adjusts following ball 1. You're right, AJ. When the Brewers had to fly from LA to Chicago, that was after the loss. If they had won the game on Monday, they would not have had to play on Tuesday.
Exactly. So they would have been sitting in Colorado waiting. But instead, by losing to the Dodgers, they had to come to Chicago, play another elimination game, which they won, fortunately. And apparently they had a nice party because it was the going out party for the old Wrigley visiting clubhouse, which a lot of visiting players will say good riddance to. So at least it went out on a high note with a team getting to celebrate in there.
Revamping that visitors clubhouse prior to next season. So on Sunday, the Rockies played game 162 at home against the Nationals. Then it was west to Los Angeles for the division tiebreaker on Monday, to Chicago for the wild card game on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and then that celebratory bus ride north from Chicago to Milwaukee. 4 games, 1 and 2 as Burns strikes out LeMahieu and Arenado. He retires the Rockies in order in the 4th. Bottom of the 4th in Milwaukee, 2-0 Brewers. As Aguilar leads off, fly to left his first time up. Christian Yelich, 2-run home run in the 3rd inning to give the Brewers the lead. 2 runs on 3 base hits for Milwaukee. Aguilar down the right field line, foul. Now getting back to the Rockies' travels. 5 days, 4 games in 4 cities against 4 different opponents. First time since the 1922 Phillies to do that. 4 different cities against 4 different teams in 5 days. The 1922 Phillies, who played their home games then at the Baker Bowl. Also played games at Ebbets Field in Brooklyn, Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, and Redland Field in Cincinnati during that 5-day stretch.
I think David Cohn started one of those games for the Phillies, didn't he?
The Baker Bowl was a pitcher's yard.
It's not a season to remember for the Phillies. They finished 35.5 games out. Too much travel.
It's back when you had to ride the trains to get to ballparks.
We took trains still. You took trains, correct, right?
Occasionally, yeah.
From New York to Boston, Baltimore to New York,
Yes.
Philly to DC. We took trains a few times from place to place. It was always fun to take. It was different, so train was always a good option.
Aguilar lines out to Blackman in center, 1 away. Fans, every time you tweet using hashtag HR for HR this postseason, T-Mobile will donate another $1 to hurricane recovery. By the way, in case you guys were wondering, the 69 Orioles played 4 games in 4 different cities in 5 days, but 2 were against the same opponent because the White Sox played 11 home games in Milwaukee that season. I know you were on top of that, AJ. 69 Orioles.
Yeah, that's a great nugget, though, Kenny. I have to give you credit for that. The fact that the White Sox played games in Milwaukee. Do you know why?
With an assist to the Elias Sports Bureau.
Do you know why they played in Milwaukee?
Do you?
No, I was asking. I want to know now.
We can find out. Moustakas, left field. Dahl, 2 away.
Senzatella's pitch count's in good shape here in the 4th.
He's pitched well, other than the 1 home run to Christian Yelich. He's given Buddy Black everything he could ask for, and as a starting pitcher, they wanted length. He's into the 4th, 2 runs. Really only the 1 mistake. Take that away and 0-0. But on the other side, the Brewers' game plan is coming together perfectly. Get an early lead and use their bullpen.
Pena. Ground ball to the shortstop, Story. A 1-2-3 4th for Antonio Senzatella. Still 2-0 Milwaukee. Game 1, NLDS. Christian Yelich, bottom of the 3rd, 2-run shot. to give the Brewers the lead. Corbin Burns working his second inning in relief of Brandon Woodruff, who started this game one for Milwaukee. Burns retired the side in order in the fourth, including strikeouts of LeMahieu and Arenado. Now facing David Dahl, who was called out on strikes against Woodruff back in the second inning. Dahl pops it up. Garcia, the shortstop, makes the catch in front of Ryan Braun for out number one. 11 straight Rockies have been retired by the combination of Woodruff and Burns.
I'm not sure if Braun got the memo or not. Right at the last minute, he does.
He wanted to add to his put-out total. He's going for a Gold Glove, so he figured if he upped his fielding percentage, he'd be up there for a Gold Glove this year.
Here's Trevor Story. Fly to right his first time up. Only one base runner for Colorado back in the first inning. A one-out walk to LeMahieu after Arenado lined out. LeMahieu was thrown out by the catcher Pena, attempting to steal second base. And that has been it for the Colorado Rockies, who finished the regular season the top three in batting average, runs, hits, and home runs in the National League.
Here's the hard part as a hitter in this game. And the way the game is played with the analytics and the changing of pitchers and these bullpen games. Well, you have to play this like a spring training game almost as a hitter, because every at bat you're facing a different pitcher. You can't get a consistency off one guy. You don't get to watch a guy the first time and make adjustments your second at bat. Every time you come up, there's a new pitcher. And as a hitter, that's tough. You can never get in a rhythm. You can never try to think along with the pitcher, because every at bat you got a different pitcher out there.
Story called out on strikes. Third strikeout in 2 innings for Burns. The NLDS on FS1 is presented by Doosan, official partner of Major League Baseball, and is sponsored by Midas. Trust the Midas touch, and by Taco Bell.
Well, Burns has got a lively fastball, not only velocity-wise, but life. Measured by spin rate, well above average.
Carlos Gonzalez grounded out to the first baseman Aguilar, his first time up.
We showed Trevor Story a little frustrated with the last call there. The reason he's frustrated, that ball's a strike on our K zone, but the problem is the catcher reaches all the way back across, so he just sees where the catcher catches the ball, and he's like, that ball's inside, even though it probably is strike. And you don't get that call often from the umpire. The catcher's set up away, he reaches all the way back. This ball comes all the way back. So Trevor Story in his peripheral vision sees the catcher catch it inside. He thinks it's a ball, but if he goes back and look at it, he's not going to say it was a strike, but in his mind he's like, okay, that was closer than I thought.
And the whole bench feels the same way. They see the movement as well.
The fans rise once again. Top of the 5th inning, 2 outs. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Corbin Burns, in my opinion, AJ, is one of those relievers that's so valuable because he can do multiple innings. And he's sort of platoon neutral. He gets out lefties almost better than he gets out righties. His fastball slider combo, devastating. He's on top of his game so far here.
Gonzalez with a drive into the right field corner. It's a fair ball. On his way to second. And now third. The first base hit of the game for the Colorado Rockies.
Absolute bullet. Finally, the Rockies show some life in an offense. Triple, Carlos Gonzalez. Down the right field line, hooks just inside the line. Snuggles up underneath the corner there. Stand-up triple for Cargo.
Just beat him to the spot. A 97-mile-an-hour fastball on his hands. Cuts him off at the pass and keeps it fair.
Heck, he didn't even look like he was running all out. He did such an easy triple because of the way the ball sat in the corner. It almost looked like he jogged around for a triple.
So with Gonzalez taking a lead off third, here's Ian Desmond. Struck out his first time up. First pitch, Burns to first to retire Desmond. Inning comes to an end. Gonzalez stranded at third. Middle of the fifth, 2-0 Brew Crew. Bottom of the fifth in Milwaukee, 2-0 Brewers. Orlando Arcia leads off against Antonio Senzatella. Takes a called strike. Jonathan Schoop has come out into the on-deck circle to pinch hit for the pitcher Burns. It's Corey Knebel in the Brewers pen. 0-2 on Arcia. We grounded out to the shortstop Story back in the second inning. And once again, Arcia grounds out to Story, one away. Today's aerial coverage is brought to you by State Farm, with the roof closed here at Miller Park for game one of this National League Division Series. If you're not following MLB on social media, you should be. Follow at MLB on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Jonathan Schoop will bat for Burns with one out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. The former Oriole, acquired back on July 31st by the Brewers, an all-star last season. 46 games with the Brewers for Schoop. Batting average of just .202 after he was named the American League Player of the Week in his final week as an Oriole.
For Craig Counsell, no need for a double switch. Nice and clean so far. Straight up pinch hitting appearances for the pitchers, as they have been almost flawless for Counsell so far.
This game couldn't have gone any better for Craig Counsell so far, right? 3 innings out of Woodruff, 2 innings out of Burns, clean pinch hitters. You'd like to have about 4 or 5 more runs probably, but with the lead, now they're getting into the guys they want to get in there with a lead. Knebel, Hader, Jeffress. This is exactly the game plan he told us was going to happen if they got the lead in his office.
Bounce to the shortstop Story. Fires across for out number 2. Yeah, AJ, as a White Sox alum, I know you were waiting for the answer as to why the Sox played games here back in the late 60s. Well, Milwaukee did not have a team in '68. So a group led by Bud Selig sponsored an exhibition game in July. 51,000. July of '67. White Sox and Twins. So the next year in '68, White Sox were not doing well attendance-wise, and they saw how well the Brewers did, or Bud Selig did, I should say, in filling the ballpark in that exhibition game the prior season. So in '68, the White Sox played 1 home game against each of the other 10 American League teams in Milwaukee, and then they did it again the next year in '69, and then baseball returned to Milwaukee in 1970.
Forward thinking there, Bud Selig, before inventing the wild card and everything else.
Right.
But, wow.
And it paid off at the box office for the Chicago White Sox.
We know everyone likes money, so they realized, hey, no one's coming down in Old Comiskey. Let's make that hour-and-a-half drive up to Milwaukee. And the Brewers have great fans, and they obviously it started back in 1967.
Brewers fans traveled well to Chicago for the game on Monday.
There was a lot of Brewers fans in Wrigley celebrating a division championship.
I got a chance to listen to a little bit of the radio feed from Bob Uecker. Boy, what you could just hear the excitement in his voice.
The Hall of Famer. There he is. His 63rd season in Major League Baseball, 48th year as a Brewers broadcaster. Let's listen.
Here it is, swinging fly ball. Broxton is there, and they're the champions. They have done it, celebrating at Wrigley Field.
That was on Monday, the divisional tiebreaker. Win over the Cubs in game 163, which gave the Brewers the day off on Tuesday. Cubs had to take the field against the Rockies and lost in 13 innings.
Bob Uecker, one of the all-time greats, without a doubt, one of the funniest, classiest gentlemen you'll ever meet in your life. And if you get the opportunity to ever get 2 minutes with Bob Uecker, he will make you laugh and laugh hysterically with his stories. My favorite one is, how do you catch a knuckleball? And Uecker said, wait till it stops rolling, you pick it up. I mean, just the one-liners he has are amazing.
He said recently he likes the new intentional walk rule. The manager holds up 4 fingers. He said back when I played, the manager would hold up 3 fingers when I came to the plate to signify strikeout.
And he got doused in the clubhouse after the game, the post-game celebration.
He did not have a change of clothes with him.
I don't think he cared at all. After that, winning the division, the way they won the division against a team that the Cubs called not a rival. Cole Hamel said they're not a rivalry. So to go into their park, win it, and then Bob Uecker get doused by champagne and other beverages, I don't think he cared one bit.
Arenado across to retire Kane. A 1-2-3 fifth for Senzatella, with Uecker calling the action on Brewers Radio. Top of the 6th inning in Milwaukee. Brewers leading game 1 of the National League Division Series 2-0 as Chris Iannetta steps in against the 3rd Brewers pitcher of the game, 26-year-old right-hander Corey Knebel, who was not allowed a run in his last 16 innings. Knebel picked up the win in the tiebreaker game at Wrigley Field on Monday. Pitched a scoreless 7th inning. Backhanded by Arcia, and he makes the play to retire Iannetta. Wow.
Great play by Arcia, deep in the hole. Throws off balance and a perfect strike. Jesus Aguilar first. The arm strength, the athleticism, all on display right there by Arcia. He's behind the 3rd baseman when he lets this ball go. And the arm strength and the accuracy. It's always a catcher that gets thrown out on those balls. A slow guy. Why does it always got to be the catcher?
To make that throw from that spot all in one motion was impressive.
And now a pinch hitter Ryan McMahon for the pitcher Senzatella. McMahon 8 for 37 as a pinch hitter this season with 2 home runs. 1 out, top of the 6th inning.
So you want to be a big league catcher. Forget the foul tips, balls in the dirt. How about a bat to the side of the head? Seems okay. That nice Nike titanium mask that weighs about 2 ounces on his head, protecting him. It's not just the foul tips, it's not just the balls in the dirt. Sometimes you take bats to the side of the head.
Is that more of an old school mask there, but you're saying titanium now?
Yeah, it's a titanium mask, so it literally weighs less than a pound. It's supposed to be stronger but lighter.
The 0-2 to McMahon. Popped foul back behind third.
We saw the home plate umpire give him a second, walk out there, rub a ball up. There's always a nice relationship between the catcher and the home plate umpire because they both know what the other one's going through. So if you see an umpire get hit by a ball, the catcher will walk to the mound, catcher gets hit, the umpire will dust off the plate, rub a ball up. Just give them a little bit of a breather and extra time.
AJ speaking from experience. Another foul on the 0-2 pitch from Knebel. Knebel was the closer at the start of the season. And then he missed about 7 weeks due to a strained left hamstring. Came back, was actually sent out to AAA towards the end of August, returned, and was named the National League September reliever of the month.
The guy who had 45 saves last year here in the 6th inning this year.
Andy Pina just wants McMahon to make it out. He hit him with the bat. Now he's hitting him with the ball. Right off the inside of the right knee. Can only cover so many areas with protection back there. It's a tough one on the inside of the leg.
Tough inning for Pina. Pinch hitter McMahon at the plate. The 0-2 from Knebel. Down the left field line, another foul. You're right, David. Knebel, outstanding in 2017, tied for the major league lead. Strikeouts by a relief pitcher, 39 saves, 4th in the league, and then suffered that injury early this season. So it became closer by committee. Knebel finished with 16. Jeffress 15 saves, and Josh Hader with 12.
It's an amazing spread. The Council's got it just the way he wants it.
Fastball missing high. 1-2 with Charlie Blackmon waiting on deck. Ryan McMahon pinch hitting for Antonio Senzatella, who went 5 innings. Craig Counsell's Brewers with a 2-0 lead. Christian Yelich with a 2-run shot back in the 3rd inning.
Well, Counsell told us before the game how much he was impressed by Terry Francona's managing a couple of years ago with Andrew Miller. And almost the advent of the super reliever. It's as if that usage has ushered in a new era, especially in postseason. The bullpens are built differently now. Almost overnight, the usage has changed.
The 2-2 from Knebel. Missing inside, full count.
And now the starters are in vogue to be in the bullpen. We saw Houston won a World Series with Charlie Morton on the mound, who was a starter for them most of the year, and they won the ALCS with Lance McCullers Jr. on the mound, who was a starter for him the whole year. So people look at things differently in the postseason. All hands on deck means everybody can pitch at any time.
10th pitch of the at-bat from Knebel, missing away. So after McMahon fell behind 0-2, fouled off 3 in a row, and now he draws a walk.
Turn over the lineup. As Blackmon, the leadoff guy, now we're going to bat with 1 out.
And all the Rockies are hoping for is 1 mistake. In this ballpark, Charlie Blackmon, LeMahieu, Arenado, 1 mistake, they can tie the game with 1 swing. That's why that was such a big at bat for McMahon. A great at bat. 0-2 against a guy that has all these saves, all this experience, to come back and draw a walk. Just a truly great at bat.
Only the 3rd Rockies base runner in this game. So now Blackmon takes a called strike. He's 0 for 2. Fly to left, pop to short.
So Blackman's 3rd at bat and 3rd different pitcher faced.
The starter Woodruff went 3 innings, faced the minimum 9 batters, struck out 3. Burns 2 innings, struck out 3, allowed a triple to Carlos Gonzalez. At one point, 12 straight Rockies were retired by the combination of Woodruff and Burns.
And to your point, David, when Charlie Blackmon gets his 4th at bat, it'll be against another pitcher. So we'll have 4 bats, 4 different pitchers. It's like we talked about, the spring training mentality because of the usage and the bullpen guys. Every at bat, someone different.
You ever ride the bike out in the pen, David?
No, we didn't have bikes in the pen back when I played.
Time called by the home plate umpire, Mike Malinsky.
Well, since we're in Milwaukee and they invented the bullpen cart here, right? Did you ever ride? Didn't they have a Harley with the sidecar that you would come in from the bullpen? Did you ever ride in that in Milwaukee?
I will say that it wasn't. I didn't ride the one here in Milwaukee, but I have been a kart rider before. And I'm kind of happy to see it come back.
I am too. I take it every time.
Nothing in 2 on Blackmon. 1 out. Top of the 6th inning.
Saves time. It's a time saver. Hop in the cart. Go in the cart right to the mound.
Heck, if I could get a cart to go from home plate to the dugout when I was catching in between innings, I'd be all for it. Anytime you get the opportunity to save a little bit of energy, let's do it. Kenny would ride the cart up and down to the press box. I know that.
Absolutely. Oh-2 to Blackmon. Right center. And the catch is made by Lorenzo Cain, covering a lot of ground to retire Charlie Blackmon for out number 2.
Made that look easy, too. Lorenzo Cain, one of the best in the game at covering ground.
Jam shot here by Charlie Blackmon. When he originally hit it, I thought this was going to fall. Lorenzo Cain shaded to left center. Charlie Blackmon tries to place this ball perfectly in right center, but Cain covers so much ground so quickly.
Lorenzo Cain led all major league outfielders, guys, this season in runs saved. He saved 20 opposition runs.
You can kind of chart that one in there, too. I mean, even though he made that look easy.
So here's LeMahieu with 2 away. Walked in the 1st, called out on strikes in the 4th.
Not that sure that's going to rate as a 4 or 5-star catch for Cain. But nonetheless, you can just see what kind of jumps he gets and how much ground he potentially can cover.
Well, that might not be a run saved on that play, but if that ball goes down, McMahon's on 3rd, Blackmon's on 1st, the Rockies have a chance to score, but he makes the catch instead. 2 outs, runner on 1st, and takes an extra base hit for McMahon to score now.
Runner goes, the 0-2 from Knebel. Throw down to second is not in time. McMahon now in scoring position.
Brewers might want to take a look at this one. Another great throw by Manny Pena. These guys are getting good jumps. And Brewers want to take a look at this. Like you might have tagged him on the forearm or the head right before his foot touches the base. Right there, he's out. And I love all the Brewers players already walking off the field.
That's our Mitel replay review. Ted Barrett, the crew chief second base umpire, made the call on the field of safe. Brewers headed off the field. Replay review powered by Vitel. Out at second on the review. Ryan McMahon. Second attempted base stealer thrown out by Manny Pena over the first 6 innings. Bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Brewers. Chris Russin, 31-year-old left-hander, on in relief of Antonio Senzatella, who allowed 2 runs in 5 innings, thanks to 1 swing of the bat from the man at the plate for Milwaukee, Christian Yelich, who takes a called strike last time up on the first pitch, a 2-run shot, and now we hear chants of MVP from the crowd here at Miller Park. Off Russin, Yelich, safe at first. Leadoff man on for the Brewers here in the 6th.
Once this gets by the pitcher, it's going to be a hit. You can see a hard one-hopper off the heel of the glove, and he knows it. He was the only one with a chance.
When you're hot, you're hot. Christian Yelich right now is on fire. So he hits a one-hopper that if he's not going very well, pitcher catches it and it's an easy out, but instead it nicks off his glove and trickles away for a single.
Yelich has seen only 6 pitches today. Bounce back to the pitcher in the first, 2-run shot in the third, and now an infield single in the 6th. 49 appearances during the regular season for Russin. He pitched a scoreless inning at Wrigley in the wild card game against his former team, the Cubs, on Tuesday. Ryan Braun 1 for 2. Struck out his last time up.
Coney, earlier in the game, we were talking about the balance in the Brewers lineup, left, right, left, right. Well, this is where it pays off for them because they bring in Russin for Yelich and Shaw, but guess what? They got to get Braun in the middle, and then he gets through Shaw. You got to get Aguilar, who's a power right-handed bat, before you get to Moustakas. So this is why you stack a lineup left, right. Not a lot of teams have the depth, but the Brewers are one of those teams that can do it.
Braun 1 for 5 lifetime against Russin. Fouls it off to the right side, 0-2.
It doesn't matter though, right, David? That's what we were told. Just because he's 1 for 5, he's due to get a hit or he's due to make another out. It all balances out. It's such a small sample size.
That is definitely what analytics will tell you, that those small sample size are not good predictors of what's going to happen next. But you're right. Not only do they have balance, the Brewers in their top 6 in their lineup, but they all have pop too. It's a dangerous top 6 of the order here for the Brew Crew.
Three of their top 5 in the order hit at least 32 home runs. Braun hit 20 in 125 games. Milwaukee finished 2nd in the National League in long balls, trailing only the Dodgers. Another foul off to the right side. So the Brewers finally into the Rockies' pen after Senzatella went 5. Colorado bullpen, which led the National League in saves during the regular season. 6 1/3 for the Rockies' pen against the Cubs on Tuesday. Just 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts. Yelich, the runner on first, and Braun lines one off the glove of Desmond into right field. Now Yelich was not running. Did he think that Desmond made the play?
He did, and then I think Desmond might have run into him. Kerwin Danley threw his hands up, the first base umpire, but Craig Counsell's going to come out and argue. I'm not sure what. I have to get a replay, but I'm not sure exactly what happened. Right through Ian Desmond's glove, and Yelich thought he was out. Thought it was a double play, I think. He thought Desmond caught it was a double play, but instead the old 9-6, 9-4 put out.
That got a lot of leather.
That did get a lot of leather.
It appeared as if he heard the sound but wasn't looking.
Well, Desmond tagged him too. He also kind of tricked him. Desmond thought he caught it also, so he tagged him and kind of deked him a little bit.
We've got some great mics down there. Our audio team is fantastic. I mean, the sound off of that leather glove was really, really loud. You can see why Yelich was fooled. 102, almost 103 miles an hour off the bat of Ryan Braun on that line drive.
Swing and a miss by Shaw, 0-1.
Ryan Braun trying to help Christian Yelich. Why? He wants a knock. He realizes, oh no. Instead of first and second, no outs, it's runner on first and 1 out. He also loses a base hit in the process.
Yeah, FC in your scorebook.
There's really nothing. Yelich shaking his head. There's nothing he can really do, right? He thought he caught it. Desmond did a good job of deking him, tagging him. The umpire threw his hand up, saying nothing happened. And by the time Yelich got back and fell off balance, he was easily out. That's why they tell you when you're at first base and there's a line drive behind you, you just keep running.
Bounce to the right side. And the Rockies unable to turn two. Shaw safe at first. There's Braun talking about it with Yelich. So now 2 away for Aguilar, who has flied out twice. Brewers would have had 2 on with nobody out. All of a sudden, bases empty, 2 out.
Big deal, big turning point.
Huge break for the Rockies.
How did Desmond not catch that?
Only he knows.
I thought you were right. I thought maybe it went through his webbing, but he didn't get a new glove. It's an awful lot of leather on the baseball and not holding on to it.
Two outs, bottom of the 6th inning. 2-0 Milwaukee in game 1 of the National League Division Series.
You can kind of see the power with Aguilar coming. AJ, you talked about it before the game at 16 home runs last year and abbreviated at bats. Finally, for his first time in his big league career, he approaches 500 at bats, and what's he do? Puts up 35 homers. So long time power throughout the minor leagues and really in winter ball, almost legendary. His power has always been there, and for the first time on the big league level, he's gotten a full season.
Sometimes you just need an opportunity, right? You just need to go somewhere where you get the opportunity to play or pitch every day, pitch every 5th day, whatever it is. And then you start believing in yourself, and the sky's the limit sometimes.
Call strike 3. Aguilar down on strikes. He's not happy with the call. Shaw stranded on first. Could have been a big inning for the Brewers. National League Division Series on FS1 presented by Doosan. Top of the 7th inning. Brewers lead the Rockies 2-0. DJ LeMahieu leading off for Colorado. On the first pitch, grounds out to Mike Moustakas, the third baseman, 1 away. Rockies have now gone 6 innings in this game. Only 1 run in their last 12 innings in the wild card game against the Cubs. So 1 run in 18 innings, but that 1 run is the reason they are here today.
And you can sense that there are a lot of early count swings. I don't know if that means they're pressing or not, AJ. You can probably speak better to that than I can as a pitcher, but you really see some anxiousness starting to show through.
I don't know that I would say it's anxiousness. I think it's just, first of all, the Brewers have made really good pitches. They haven't made any mistakes at all, but the prolific Colorado offense that during the regular season just hasn't shown up so far in the postseason. And at some point they're just hoping to break out. It's tough because you're facing different pitchers. Again, this is Arenado's third at bat, third different pitcher. Every guy, every time you go up there, man, I'm getting a different look, a different angle, a different pitcher, a different sequence. So give the Brewers credit for this move, and that guy right there comes in. It's going to get really, really tough on the Colorado offense. No one can hit him.
Arenado with a shot into the left field corner, foul. Arenado lined out to Moustakas his first time up against Woodruff, and then Burns struck him out in the 4th inning. Now facing Knebel with Hader up in the Milwaukee pen. The 1-2 to Arenado, fouled off to the right side.
The impressive part about this guy, Arenado, is how durable he is. 160 games played in 2016, 159 last year in 2017, and then 156 this year. 38 doubles, 38 homers this year. 935 OPS. You're talking about at or near the top in the game. All-around ball player, both sides of the ball, too.
The last 5 seasons, he's driven in more runs than any other player in all of baseball.
And he loses some credit, I think, because of the Coors Field factor, and he plays in Denver at the Mile High. And people tend to look down upon that, but you still got to drive those runs in. You still got to get hits, and you still have to do it.
Arenado down on strikes, 2 away.
It's an absolutely wicked breaking ball. You see the grip, almost a index finger spiked, and the tight rotation. 12-6 break on that curveball.
Seventh strikeout for the Brewers pitching staff in this game 1 of the National League Division Series. 4th pitcher of the game entering for Milwaukee. The NLDS continues tonight on MLB Network. Game 1, Braves and Dodgers. Then tomorrow the ALDS gets underway on TBS. Plus it's game 2 of both National League matchups right here on FS1. Now it's time for the Jim Beam call to the bullpen. Josh Hader, who picked up the save in the division tiebreaker. 2 scoreless innings at Wrigley on Monday. An all-star for the first time, led all major league relief pitchers with 143 strikeouts, which set an MLB record for strikeouts by a left-handed reliever in a single season.
In 81 and a third innings, those 143 strikeouts.
David Dahl 0 for 2, fouls it off. 1-1. Defensive changes as well, as Hernan Perez enters the game to play second base. He will bat ninth, and Shaw moves over from second to first base.
So the first time Craig Counsell's had to utilize a double switch, and it actually improves his defense. Takes Travis Shaw, a natural third or first baseman, puts him at first, brings in Hernan Perez to play second. Win-win for Craig Counsell. Plus he gets his main man Hader out there
against the lefty.
Aguilar made the last out, so he is removed from the game. Pitcher will now bat in the 5th spot for Milwaukee. The 1-2 from Hader to Dahl. Check this out, guys. With 2 strikes in the regular season, opponents batted 0-56 against Hader, best in all of baseball.
That's why you have those strikeout numbers that he has. No one sees the ball with this guy.
He strikes out Dahl to end the inning. 7th inning stretch time in Milwaukee. 2-0 Brewers. Game 1 of the National League Division Series. Time for our Indeed.com player resume. Well, he was a player for 16 seasons in the major leagues, originally drafted by the Rockies in their inaugural draft in '92. Went on to win 2 World Series titles. He was NLCS MVP with the Diamondbacks in 2001. Craig Counsell scored the game-winning run at the bottom of the 11th for the Marlins to win the '97 World Series, now in his 4th season as Brewers skipper.
Great career for Craig Counsell. Grew up just outside Milwaukee.
Moustakas leading off for the Brewers in the bottom of the 7th. Flies out to Blackman.
Became a Rockies draft pick. Can we get a better shirt for Craig Counsell in his picture? He's got the shirt with the undershirt with the ruffled neck. I mean, he's been wearing that for like 10 years, but the guy who signed him, I think, is hilarious. Now is the traveling secretary, so he said he wasn't a very good scout, but he did sign Craig Counsell.
Right. Paul Egan still with the Rockies.
Went on and had an amazing major league career. 2 World Series, 2 huge memories in the '97, scoring the winning run in 2001, being on the field for Luis Gonzalez's hit to win it. But great career, kind of was born a Brewer and now is leading the Brewers back to the promised land.
Right. His father, John, was the director of community relations for the Brewers when Craig was a youngster. Played in his first major league game for the Rockies back in September of '95. They lost that game to the Marlins 17-0, but with Counsell on the roster following his call up, the Rockies would go on to clinch a spot in the postseason in only their 3rd major league season back in '95. And now he manages against Colorado in the postseason. Brewers missed the wild card by 1 game. Finished just behind the Rockies last season. Now facing his former team in the National League Division Series. And for more on Craig Counsell, down to JP.
Well, Kenny, the story comes full circle for Counsell and Brewers bench coach Pat Murphy. Murphy coached Counsell at the University of Notre Dame. And when I asked Murphy earlier today if Counsell was a scholarship player at Notre Dame, he said yes. His scholarship was $500. Craig also graduated. He was actually drafted as a senior there, signed for $5,000 with the Rockies. But again, he has made very good on that investment, and we are now 10 miles away from where Craig Counsell played Little League. That Little League field is now called Craig Counsell Park in Whitefish Bay.
Nice. Thanks, JP.
$500 scholarship. It's better than nothing, I guess, right? He wasn't a walk-on. It's interesting to me that Pat Murphy is now the bench coach for Craig Counsell. Shows you the respect. He was a long time college guy. Was there in the college, Notre Dame, Arizona State, and coached a lot of really good players throughout his college career. Craig Counsell thought enough of him because of the $500 scholarship. Now he's his bench coach in the major leagues.
So you have Craig Counsell that won 2 championships as a player. Bud Black on the other side won a title as a player, pitcher with the Royals in '85, and then as a pitching coach with the Angels, 2002.
Yeah, Bud Black was the leader of the pitching staff for the '85 world champion Kansas City Royals. The late great Dick Hauser, the manager,
who had such an influence on Bud Black. And David, you were a teammate of Bud's when you came up with the Royals.
Yes, he was great. I mean, it's understandable, you know, how long he's lasted in the game. Great people skills. You know, AJ, sometimes you get some big leaguers when you're a rookie, and they will big league you. They will treat you like.
Please say Bud Black was he big league you. So
No.
when tomorrow we have our meeting with him.
He was the opposite. He was one of the ones who did. He would take you aside and talk to you, rather than just ignore you or maybe give you a hazing, you know, or treat you like
a rookie.
Yeah, like a rookie.
What a staff. Brett Saberhagen, Mark Gubiza, Bud Black, Danny Jackson, David Cohn.
Yeah, the Royals were loaded back then in the '80s. Bud Black was the best pitcher on that team.
Dan Quisenberry out of the pen.
It was fun today in the meeting we had with Bud Black to listen to David Cohn and Bud Black share some old stories.
Pena draws a 1-out walk. Speaking of Bud Black, he will make a pitching change. That's DJ Johnson in the Rockies pen. On FS1 is presented by Doosan, official partner of Major League Baseball, and by Hankook Tire. Chase down your passion, never halfway. And by Old Dominion, helping the world keep promises. Aerial coverage brought to you by State Farm, with the Milwaukee Brewers leading the Colorado Rockies 2-0. Bottom of the 7th inning from Miller Park. 1 out. Third pitcher of the game for the Rockies is DJ Johnson, 29-year-old right-hander. Made his Major League debut September 9th against the Dodgers, and appeared in 7 games for the Rockies during the regular season. Arcia leading off. He has grounded out twice to the shortstop Trevor Story.
DJ Johnson, a nice story. Bounced around a bunch of places, was in independent ball for a while, then with a couple different organizations. And here he is, pitching in Game 1 of the NLDS for the Colorado Rockies.
He's been with Tampa Bay, Arizona, Minnesota, Miami, the Angels, and finally broke through with the Rockies last month.
Don't forget the Caneros de los Mochis of the Mexican Winter League, Kenny.
The 0-2. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pena the runner on first with 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning.
And DJ Johnson come in, David, shows the different philosophies when you're winning a game and losing a game. If Colorado's up 2-0 in this game, we're seeing Ottavino, we're seeing Oberg, we're seeing Wade Davis, those guys that come in, like the Brewers have done with Hader and Knebel. So it's just they're saving those guys to get a lead tomorrow. That's why the lead early is so important.
Base hit right field. Off the bat of Arcia. Pena to third. Runners on the corners for the Brewers with 1 out here in the 7th.
Well, that's postseason for you. You know, for a guy that hit 236 in the regular season, can't get him out in the postseason.
Different people step up in big situations, and so far Arcia been clutch for the Brewers. Nice job of Manny Pena going first to third easily. Get to third with less than 2 outs. It's a big deal for your offense. I would not be surprised at all right here to see Craig Counsell give Hernan Perez maybe a safety squeeze, try to bunt the ball to the first baseman. Make Ian Desmond field the ball. Manny Pena at third's got to be aware as soon as the ball's on the ground towards first, he's got to be ready to break.
Perez batting for the first time today. Runners on the corners. Arcia bluffed towards second.
So why would Arcia bluff to second? They want to see what the Rockies are doing as far as coverage and throwing. Is Iannetta going to come up and throw the ball to second, therefore give Pena a chance to score from third, or are they going to hold their ground? It's actually a good play that's underutilized throughout Major League Baseball.
Bunted foul.
And there was the safety squeeze. Bunt the ball to first. Pena goes on contact. That almost might have been a suicide squeeze, as close as he was, but it's an easy run if you can get the ball down to the first baseman, because the first baseman has to hold the runner on. And as long as the guy on third, the runner on third, is alert, it's impossible to defend. Joe Madden kind of brought that play back, made it famous with the Rays. It's a great National League play.
Yeah, Don Zimmer brought it to Joe Madden.
The 0-2 from Johnson. Perez down on strikes for out number 2.
Well, this is what got Johnson back at the big leagues. This is a big league curveball. Straight over the top, but straight down. Johnson had 84 strikeouts in a little over 50 innings in AAA this year, and the Rockies took notice. That's why he's here. That pitch right there.
So with 2 away, Lorenzo Cain 0 for 2 with a walk.
Another look, and on the 1-0 count, he gets the call. Lorenzo Cain does not like it immediately. A little bit off the plate on the inside part.
It changes the at-bat. Instead of 2-0, it's 1-1, and as a hitter, you'd much rather obviously be 2-0, but just changes the whole bat, your whole mindset, everything about because of one call.
The thing about the strike zone is the count matters. A 3-0 count or an 0-2 count, it's a completely different strike zone. It's just the way it always has been. The interpretation from the home plate umpire, you're more apt to call strikes that are just off the plate in certain counts.
The automatic 3-0 strike, right? It's 3-0. The next pitch is almost automatically a strike to get the guy back in the count.
The 1-2 from Johnson. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
If that were an 0-2 pitch to Lorenzo Cain, it probably would not have been called a strike. But a 1-0 pitch was called a strike.
So do you put Arcia on the move here, 2-2, try to get him into scoring position, or do you let Cain have a free swing here with no one in motion? A lot of times as a hitter, the guy goes, you swing because you want to protect him even with 2 outs. But also if he makes it, put another guy in scoring position. He held. Now he's going 3-2 for sure, but a lot of times managers think, hey, this is our leadoff guy, let's get an extra guy in scoring position for him. If he gets thrown out, no big deal.
Yeah, you have Yelich on deck too. We've already seen 2 outs on base from the other side, the Rockies. They have 27 outs. They gave away 2 of them at second base.
The runners on the corners, 2 outs, full count. Payoff pitch to Cain. It is a called strike 3 to end the inning. Through 7, still 2-0 Brewers. NLDS on FS1, presented by Doosan. 6:45 Central Time here in Milwaukee. What a job by this Brewers pitching staff. 4 pitches to this point. Woodruff, the starter, normally a reliever, at least this season, went 3 innings. Then Burns, Knebel, now Hader. They have combined to allow just 1 base hit. No runs for Colorado. 8 strikeouts through 7 innings. The Brewers, when leading after 7 innings this season, 80-3. Only the Oakland A's were better percentage-wise.
Couldn't have scripted it any better if you're on the Brewers side.
This has played out perfectly for Craig Counsell and his pitching staff. And for Oakland last night in the wild card game, they tried this also. But when your first guy, Hendricks, who started, gives up a 2-run homer, walks the leadoff guy, gives up a 2-run homer, they put you behind the 8 ball. Then things kind of get out of control a little bit. You see their closer, Blake Trinan, came in, had to pitch 3 innings for Oakland in the 6th last night. So that's the argument against doing this. But when it all goes right, man, it looks pretty, doesn't it? Looks so easy and fluid, but if one hiccup is all it takes, and it throws everything out of whack.
You had to look at Jeremy Jeffress in the Milwaukee pen. Story got a piece of it. And the catcher, Pena, shake it up.
It's not a good feeling as a catcher. And the trainer does not want to come out there right now because of the region where Manny Pena might have been hit by the ball.
Yeah, that's not a place you can just rub some dirt on.
No. Yeah, we're going to stop showing that replay for the people at home. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing. The umpire's giving him time, but
can't walk that one off.
If you're the Rockies, you just want to get a guy on base and hope Hader makes a mistake or Jefferson makes a mistake to tie the game. 1 hit so far, but you just need a base runner. Plus, it'll turn your lineup over again.
Story strikes out 1 away. Two batters face, 2 strikeouts for Josh Hader.
A 4-seam gas always plays better up than down. Right above the strike zone. Make a living up there, as that guy definitely does. Coming right in your living room. Hit that.
His motion is deception. It's 97 with late life jumping on you. but it's also his motion. He crossfires. He's a little bit dropped down. He's got the hair flowing. He's got the glove hiding the ball when he comes at you. So for Carlos Gonzalez right here, he's going to swing early because he doesn't want to get to 2 strikes.
Gonzalez has the only Rockies hit today, a triple into the right field corner in the 5th inning off Burns.
You saw Cargo's reaction to the first pitch. He's diving out over the plate thinking away. Hader misses up and in and scared Cargo a little bit. That's a scary feeling. This is what makes Hader so difficult. Crossfire, stepping towards first, ball hidden, coming from a lower 3/4 angle, just tough. Not to mention his stuff is above average.
It really is the total package. You're right. It's a great point, AJ. Combination of high velocity, deception. And oh yeah, he's got one of these too.
This guy's disgusting. I said Carlos Gonzalez was going to swing early. He didn't want to get to that pitch. 94, 95 by him, and then oh yeah, he's going to drop a 81 mile an hour slider at perfect location. You have no chance. 0 chance as a left-handed hitter right there.
And Desmond 0 for 2. Rockies have had only 3 base runners. Gonzalez the triple in the 5th. 2 walks, but both Rockies who walked were then caught stealing. So Milwaukee pitchers have faced only 1 batter above the minimum with 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Thank goodness for the Carlos Gonzalez triple. We might be looking at some history here.
Two and 1 on Desmond. Check this out. Just under 16 strikeouts for 9 innings. That's the highest all time with a minimum of 80 innings pitched in a season.
Well, to me, that's the most impressive thing. He's striking guys out 80 innings. He didn't throw 30 innings and strike out 60. He's throwing 80 and struck out almost 2 per inning. That's unheard of. That's high usage and very high end results.
It's much more valuable than slotting him in as a 1-inning closer in just the 9th inning.
Desmond gets the bat on it after 4 straight Rockies struck out. 1, 2, 3, 8 for Josh Hader and the Brewers. StatCast AI powered by Amazon Web Services. Christian Yelich went deep back in the 3rd inning, a 2-run shot, providing the only runs to this point in Game 1 of the National League Division Series. And now Yelich will lead off against the 4th Rockies pitcher, the 26-year-old left-hander Harrison Musgrave. Yelich, Braun, Shaw due up for the Brewers here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2-1. Looking ahead, the Rockies will have Iannetta, the pitcher spot, and Blackman due up in the top of the 9th inning.
Showed that StatCast home run that Yelich hit before. This second half just exploding, as Craig Counsell told us. Previous career high, just 21 home runs in 2016. 36 rather this year. He comes up here in Milwaukee, finds his power stroke.
The 2-2 from Musgrave. Full count.
These last two at bats demonstrate that. The respect that Bud Black has for him. They brought in their lefties to face Yelich with Ryan Braun hitting behind him both times. Russin and now Musgrave to face Christian Yelich.
Leadoff walk. Fans, every time you tweet using hashtag HR4HR this postseason, T-Mobile will donate another $1 to hurricane recovery.
Yeah, well, Christian Yelich can run a little bit too. 22 stolen bases, only 4 times caught stealing. Be interesting to see if at some point during this at bat he gets in motion.
I'd be surprised just because of Ryan Braun up to the plate, the damage he's done over his career against left-handed pitching.
Yelich goes.
Unless he gets a jump like that. He took off first move and no chance.
He didn't want the same thing to happen as did back in the 6th inning.
He didn't want to take a hit away from Ryan Braun. This jump is a walking lead. He goes. He knows something right here. Look, he goes before he even picks his leg up. He's gone. And Iannetta, no chance. As a catcher, you're just hoping Ryan Braun swings at that pitch and fouls it off, and you get another opportunity. But he knew something right there and took off before the pitcher even picked his leg up.
Yeah, good scouting. Maybe reading something on the move. Also playing with house money a little bit too, leading off with the walk and pushing it a little bit.
Yelich, the only player on either side to reach leading off an inning. He's done it twice today.
Both against left-handed pitchers. When Bud Black's brought in the lefties, he singled off Russin and now walk off Musgrave.
One run to Braun. Now 1-2. Brewers lead game 1 of this best-of-5 National League Division Series. 2-0. Nobody out, bottom of the 8th inning. Bud Black will send Tyler Anderson to the mound tomorrow against the former Colorado Rocky, Yolis Chassin.
Bud Black's looking for some base hits and some runs right there. Head down, looking for a way to get his offense going.
Another foul off to the right side.
The best part about Christian Yelich stealing, he stole early. He stole the first pitch, so that changes Ryan Braun's mentality as a hitter. The guy steals with 2 strikes, it changes things, but when he steals early in the count, now Ryan Braun's job is to get him over to third with less than 2 outs for Travis Shaw on deck. So by stealing early, it gives Ryan Braun a better shot at doing his job.
Yelich to third. So Braun again hits it off the glove of a corner infielder. It was Desmond his last time up, and now Arenado.
It's a great point, Kenny. I mean, how often do you see that? Drawing leather on the corners, and this time off the web of the glove. And if you get it by that guy, that's saying something, because if he can't catch it, nobody can. And of course, Yelich has got a freeze on a line drive.
Well, after last time, Ryan Braun's like, whew, hit it off the guy's glove, and I actually got a hit out of it this time. No one was able to throw someone out on the bases for me.
1 for 2 for Braun.
He has 2 of the 6 Brewers hits. Should have had a third.
He's yelling because he's happy he got a hit, but I think he's also yelling at Christian Yelich. You want him to score, but you can't score on that ball. As the ball's in front of you, third baseman, Gold Glover, Nolan Arenado, you think in your mind he's going to make the play. Yelich didn't want to get doubled up in that situation because that third run is huge. A little overamped, I think, for Ryan Braun in that situation.
We saw that early when he tried to score on home plate, got thrown out at home.
Travis Shaw 0 for 2 with a walk as Musgrave throws over to first.
So this is an interesting running situation. The infield's in. With the infield in, you're never sure if anyone can cover second. So if Braun takes off, who's going to cover second? If Story goes, he opens up the whole left side of the infield. So as a defense, what do you do?
Still nobody out. Bottom of the 8th inning. 2-0 Brewers. Runners on the corners. Travis Shaw at the plate. Shaw pops it up to the left side, foul territory. Not enough room for Arenado. Leadoff walk to Yelich. He stole second. Moved to third on the broad base hit.
So another interesting, you want to be a big league manager. So say he gets Travis Shaw out and the run doesn't score. Well, then they have Oberg ready to come in for the pinch hitter on deck, who right now is Keon Broxton. But they also have, if Bud Black goes out, brings in the righty, they have Curtis Granderson sitting there on. It's a pretty good weapon to have for the Brewers coming off the bench, a left-handed hitter. So do you stick with the lefty and take your chances on Broxton, or do you go get the righty and try to go right-left against Granderson? All the decisions a big league manager has to make.
Got to look at Granderson. Going on the move. So the Brewers now with runners on second and third. Nobody out.
And no one covered. That's the dilemma when your infield's in. You can't cover the whole field, so you have to give up something. The Rockies decided to give up the 90 feet to Ryan Braun. I'm surprised it took him that long to get to second base.
Now Braun takes a big lead off second. One away, Broxton walking up to the plate following the Shaw strikeout.
Right there. And certainly in that situation, nobody out, the ball's up, out over the plate. You got to take a lash at that one.
Here comes Bud Black. Keon Broxton announced as the pinch hitter. Scott Oberg coming out of the Rockies pen.
A lot of options. See, now it's 2-0. Now you almost just walk them and take your chances with the lefty. This is the matchup where you're at. This is the matchup you believe in. You're actually almost pitching to the guy on deck, not the guy in the box right now.
Oberg waiting. Stockus on deck. 2-0. Broxton with the highest strikeout rate this season in Major League Baseball. Strikes out at 38% of his at-bats during the regular season. 28 strikeouts and 78 at-bats. And you know, Bud Black is well aware of that.
Yeah, just swung through a 2-0 fastball.
Holds that time. 3-1.
Got to stay on the fastball if you're Broxton right here. 2-0. He's thinking, okay, he might walk me, he might pitch around me. Boom, he came right after me. He was late. So Keon Broxton, stay on the fastball. If he throws something else, either take it or try to swing and miss at it. But be ready for the heater.
Full count.
And he threw another 3-1 heater right by him.
Payoff pitch from Musgrave to Broxton. He strikes him out. After falling behind 2-0, Musgrave wins the battle, now 2 away. Time now for our Budweiser game summary, with the Brewers leading game 1 of the National League Division Series 2-0. Yelich 2-run homer in the third. Woodruff, the Brewers starter, followed by Burns, Knebel, and Hader. Now an intentional walk to Moustakas to load the bases. And now Bud Black will go to his bullpen. After Musgrave stayed in the game, struck out Broxton, the intentional walk. Here comes Oberg. And tomorrow the American League Division Series gets started on TBS, plus game 2 of both National League matchups right here on FS1. Game 2 here in Milwaukee tomorrow. Anderson and Chacin, the probable starters. 4 Eastern, right here on FS1. Brewers with a 2-0 lead, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning. Scott Oberg, the 5th Rockies pitcher of the game, facing Manny Pena with the bases full. Oberg on Tuesday night at Wrigley, wild card game. First pitcher in baseball history to pick up a win in a postseason game while facing at least 4 batters and striking out each and every one of them. Struck out the side of the bottom of the 13th to send the Rockies to Milwaukee. And he retires Pena with the bases full to send this game to the 9th inning as the Brewers ran 3. Brewers with a 2-0 lead. Time for the Gatorade proven performance. How about Brewers pitchers today? A bullpen game. They start with Woodruff, then Burns, Knebel, and finally Hader. 8 innings, only 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts.
21 swing and misses from all these relievers over the first 8 innings so far.
So now Jeremy Jeffress, 15 saves during the regular season, will try and close it out for Milwaukee, facing a pinch hitter, Gerardo Parra. Another pinch hitter, Matt Holliday, has come out into the on-deck circle for Colorado. Rockies have now scored 1 run in their last 20 innings. We talked about the week of the whirlwind. Home game in Denver Sunday, LA Monday, Chicago Tuesday, then on to Milwaukee. Rockies trail by 2, top of the 9th inning. And that's only the second base hit of the game for Colorado, as Parra leads off the 9th with a single into right field off Jeffress.
That's all the Rockies are looking for, a chance to tie the game. Now they have Matt Holliday, plus it turns the lineup over. Now they get Charlie Blackmon, DJ LeMahieu, and they're one hitter away from Nolan Arenado, David Dahl, and Trevor Story.
Leadoff man on for the first time for the Rockies in this game. So now Matt Holliday, who returned to the organization, signed a minor league contract in late July. He's called up in late August by Colorado. 7-time All-Star. Up the middle, base hit. 1 run the first 8 innings. And now back-to-back singles by 2 pinch hitters to start the 9th.
And here we go. The Rockies offense has been non-existent, been missing. They left it in Colorado after the last 2 games, but 2 pinch hitters, 2 knocks. Now the go-ahead run is at the plate all of a sudden.
Starting to magnify all the missed opportunities for the Brewers to add on to that 2-run lead.
Right, the situation in the 6th inning with Yelich not running. Brewers loaded the bases in the 8th, could not score. So Holliday does his job.
Matt Holliday, a great story as you illustrated, Kenny.
Garrett Hampson running for Holliday.
Looked like his career was over, AJ, and here he is right back in the playoffs.
He took the different route. Most guys that have had the career that Matt Holliday's had wouldn't accept going to the minor leagues for a time to prove their worth. And he did it back with his original organization, and here he is getting a huge hit in the playoffs.
2 on, nobody out. Charlie Blackmon at the plate. He's 0 for 3. And Blackmon drives this one into the right field corner. It's a fair ball. Parra scores. Here comes Hampson.
Yelich saying it's foul. Travis Shaw saying it's foul. We have extra umpires.
Now it looks like it's ruled a ground rule double, so Hampson sent back to third base. But 1 run scores.
They're calling the ball foul. Did it just snip some white line? All it needs is 1 white pebble to pop up, right?
So the ruling on the field is a ground rule double, 1 run. Wow.
What's the thing in tennis? The Cyclops machine they have? We need that right now at the U.S. Open. John Timpani, the right field umpire right now, is hoping he got this right. What a huge change. I mean, this ball is called fair. Be careful, Brewers. This ball is called foul. Huge break for the Brewers.
Ruled a fair ball and a ground rule double, scoring 1 run.
That's foul. Foul ball.
So Parra will be brought back from the dugout. And we go back to first and second. Nobody out. Blackmon at the plate.
Great camera work by our camera crew all around. Getting that angle and then that mark. Look at that mark. From how far is John Timpani away? 50, 100 feet? Not even 75 feet? I mean, took super slow motion to even tell. So
maybe 2 inches. Maybe not even.
Credit to Shaw and Yelich. They called it foul right away.
Well, the Rockies come within inches of scoring a run and having runners on second and third with nobody out, but instead the call is reversed. Foul ball. Another opportunity for Blackman. This is only the second at bat for the Rockies today with a runner in scoring position. The 0-1 from Jeffress. Now 1 ball, 1 strike.
Interesting defense for the Brewers here. They have Moustakas in, like Charlie Blackmon's going to bunt. He's not bunting in this situation. He's got power. He can do damage. So originally Moustakas was in on the grass thinking, hey, they're going to bunt. They're not bunting right here. Charlie Blackmon's swinging the bat.
Rockies had only 1 base hit over the first 8 innings. They sent 2 pinch hitters to the plate here in the 9th. They both singled, Parra and Holiday. Hampson pinch running. 2-1. LeMahieu on deck, then Arenado. Top of the order for the Rockies with 2 on, nobody out. The 2-1 from Jeffress. Catches the outside corner, strike 2, 2-2. The 2-2 to the right side, base hit right field. Parra heading home. The Rockies are on the board with a run. 3 consecutive base hits in the top of the 9th inning. It's now a 2-1 Brewers lead.
Just that fast. And the top of the order, obviously, for the Rockies in play right now. Here in the 9th inning, just a 4th at bat for Charlie Blackmon. That's how tough a slog it's been for the Rockies, but not anymore. They are in business.
Just a routine ground ball through the hole.
4th at bat for Blackmon against 4 different pitchers.
And I'm surprised Hampson didn't try to go first to third right there. I know you don't make the first out of third, but Yelich was playing deep. He doesn't have the greatest throwing arm, and Hampson can run, so a little surprised he didn't try to go first to third right there.
Here's LeMahieu, takes ball 1.
And again, Moustakas is thinking they're going to bunt. He's in on the grass. Well, I don't think DJ LeMahieu's thinking bunt. He's thinking hit one in the gap here and give us the lead.
Hampson, the runner at second. Blackmon takes his lead off first. 1-run game. No outs, top of the 9th inning in Milwaukee. LeMahieu 0 for 2 with a walk today. Swing and a miss, 1-1.
It's more of a traditional lineup construction from Buddy Black as well. In today's game, we see a lot of times their best hitter hitting second. Not here for the Rockies. LeMahieu more of a back control guy.
Charging is Arcia, and it gets past him. Bases loaded.
Tough play by Arcia. Great pitch by Jeffers. Arcia's got a charge. LeMahieu runs well, so I don't know even if he fields this cleanly if he gets him out, but he was thinking, I think he was thinking maybe get the out at second, but just a tough play. All the pressure on Arcia right there to come and get the ball. So the Rockies are in business here. Bases loaded, no outs, and their best hitter, Nolan Arenado, up at the plate.
I agree with you. Arcia looked a little indecisive there. Instead of charging hard to get the runner at first.
So 3 base hits and now an error. Strike 1 to Arenado.
If you're Jeffress right here, you want a ground ball double play. You're okay, actually, I think at least, giving up a run here to get 2 outs. The worst you got to leave this, if you can get out of it, yes. But if you give up 1 right here, you're okay. You're still alive.
Strike 2.
And now, David, you're all in for the strikeout here, right? You want a strikeout?
Well, you tend to get more greedy as you go along here, but you still have to remember this is Nolan Arenado in the batter's box. But with an 0-2 count, you're definitely going to take a shot with that slider to get him to strike out or go out of the zone to see if he will chase.
The 0-2 from Jeffress. Center field. Kane settles under it. Hampson tags. Throw to the plate is not in time. We are tied at 2. And moving to third is Blackman. Sacrifice fly, RBI for Nolan Arenado to tie the game in the top of the 9th inning.
Well, he didn't go for the strikeout. He went for another sinker in. Nolan Arenado, after swinging and missing at 1 and then taking 1, does his job. Gets 1 up in the air, sac fly. And great base running by Charlie Blackman to go first to third on the throw.
Too good of a pitch for 0-2. If you're going to go inside, you got to bury it in there. You see the catcher has to reach back out over the plate. Not good enough. Did Arenado a favor there, and you get 2 birds with 1 stone. Not only do you tie the Wago at home, you get Blackman to third with 1 out.
You saw in that replay, Blackman read the throw. He knew Lorenzo Cain was going to try to throw the runner out, so even though there was a cutoff man, Cain missed the cutoff man. Hampson scored easily and allowed Charlie Blackman to go to third. The go-ahead run at third with 1 out.
Dahl 0 for 3. He struck out twice. Ground ball to the right side. Throw comes home. Blackman caught in a rundown. And he is tagged out. So now first and second for the Rockies with 2 away.
Good play by Charlie Blackman. You have to go. You have to make Travis Shaw throw this ball at home to stay out of the double play and keep the inning alive. He's hoping that LeMahieu can get to third and Dahl can get to second, but because the Brewers executed the rundown with only 1 throw, it kept the next runners from moving up. And now it's all on Trevor's Story here. If Jeffress gets out of this and keeps them tied, it's actually a win for the Brewers with bases loaded, no outs, and only 1-run lead.
Trevor Story hit 7 home runs against the Brewers during the regular season. Tie game, 2 outs, top of the 9th inning, 2 on. Strike 1 to Story. So after scoring only 1 run in 20 innings, the Colorado Rockies, with their backs to the wall, trailing by 2, score 2 in the 9th. Roughing at 2 on Story.
And that's the pitch, David, you wanted him to throw to Arenado. 0-2, right? 2 nasty sliders he's thrown Trevor Story. Instead, he went for a fastball, made a mistake.
Agreed. He's got a good one, too.
The 0-2 from Jeffress. Story strikes out. Throw to first, inning over, but the Rockies tie it. Arcia, who committed the error, due to lead off in the bottom of the ninth for Milwaukee. Head to the bottom of the ninth inning at Miller Park. Rockies and Brewers tied at 2. Aerial coverage brought to you by State Farm. Colorado ties the game with 2 runs in the top of the ninth inning, with the Brewers clinging to a 2-0 lead. First 8 innings for Colorado. 1 for 23 at the plate, 10 strikeouts. The only hit, a Carlos Gonzalez triple. They go 3 for 6 with 2 runs scored in the ninth. Adam Ottavino, 32-year-old right-hander, to face Orlando Arcia. First pitch, the shortstop Story has it. High throw, and the tag is placed on Arcia for the first out of the inning. So Ian Desmond able to handle that high throw and apply the tag.
Plenty of time. That's why Desmond can go all that way.
He might be safe. They're looking at it. Desmond tries.
And Desmond had to go way up, and you see as he comes down, he's got to reach.
I mean, these are inches. These replays are amazing. That and the call is out, so it's hard to overturn. And I haven't seen anything yet. I want to say he's safe, but from that angle, he looks like he tags him before. So what do you do?
That's worth a replay if you're the Brewers.
Replay review brought to you by Mitel.
The problem I see with the replays, you can't tell when Desmond's glove touches Arcia's jersey. From all these angles we've shown, it's hidden. So this might be the best one, but does it touch it there? There? Now, the umpires, I was told, aren't supposed to watch the big screen review. So here we go.
They confirm the call on the field. So 1 away here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Hernan Perez to the plate. Struck out in his first at bat back in the 7th inning.
When calls are that close, AJ, it's almost like whatever's called on the field is going to stand.
Absolutely.
There's just nothing to overturn it, not enough.
And Hernan Perez, you talked about how many guys, and as great as the Rockies rally was, all the guys and all the chances. Hernan Perez came up first and third, struck out in a big situation his last at bat. So, Tony, you said that Brewers kind of let them hang around, and the Rockies, it took one rally, and boom, now we're tied, and Rockies have one of their best relievers in Ottavino, and now we have a real ball game.
The Brewers had firm control of this game and many chances to add on.
Right, you mentioned some of the missed opportunities for Milwaukee in the 6th inning and then again in the 8th. Ground ball to the shortstop, Trevor Story. 2 out.
And now at this point in the game, The Rockies still have their best relievers ready, and this is one of them that's on the mound now.
And conversely, the Brewers have used all their best relievers, the ones they were counting on to get them through 9 innings. Hader, Knebel, Jeffers. They've used all those guys. So they have Soria still remaining, who's warming up in the bullpen right now, but he's a 1-inning guy. They've used all their long guys. Gio Gonzalez now becomes an option the longer this game goes if Kane doesn't do something to end it here.
Kane 0 for 3 with a walk. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning, strike 1. Brewers scored their runs way back in the 3rd on a Christian Yelich 2-run homer. You had a look at Soria in the Milwaukee pen. The missed opportunities you spoke about. 6th inning, Yelich on first, Braun line drive off the glove of Desmond. Yelich doesn't run. He's thrown out at second. Now 1 and 2 on Kane, and then the Brewers stranded 3 in the 8th inning.
And don't forget the 7th. They had 1st and 3rd and 1 out. Hernan Perez struck out. Lorenzo Cain struck out. So they've had plenty of opportunities.
They've left 6 men on base in the last 3 innings. Rockies through 8, no runs, only 1 hit. They tie the game at the top of the 9th. 2 runs on 3 base hits and an error.
What a comeback.
We talked about the Brewers' record when leading after 8, 84 and 3 during the regular season.
That stat's a little, I always think that stat's a little funny because good teams always have good records after 8. You should win those games. I love that stat. After leading, you know what? Every team's undefeated when leading after 9, Kenny.
That is true. Kane awaiting the 1-2 from Ottavino. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yelich on deck. Should Kane reach? 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning in Milwaukee. Game 1 of the National League Division Series.
There's a lot of right-handed relievers in the big leagues that have good sliders. And then there's this guy's slider when it's right.
He throws the Nintendo slider like on RBI baseball that would get about halfway there and you hit the joystick.
Right field, Gonzalez. Extra innings in Milwaukee. We head to the 10th. Gonzalez due to lead off for Colorado. Brzezinski, David Cone, J.P. Morosi. 2-2. As we head to the 10th, Colorado Rockies with 2 runs in the top of the 9th inning to tie the game. And now Carlos Gonzalez will lead off against the 6th pitcher of the game for the Brewers, the 34-year-old right-hander Joakim Soria. 220 career saves. That's 5th on the active list. 66 appearances during the regular season for the 2-time All-Star. First pitch to Gonzalez, who had the only Rockies base hit over the first 8 innings, a triple back in the 5th. He was stranded at 3rd. Colorado sent 7 batters to the plate in the 9th inning. They scored 2 runs on 3 hits and an error. 3 base hits to start the inning. Then the error, sacrifice fly. 2 in the 9th for Colorado. 0-2 on Gonzalez. Blackman and Arenado driving in the Rockies runs to tie the game.
Important inning here for the Brewers. Obviously in extra innings, you don't want to give up the lead, but Joakim Soria is kind of the last, like we talked about, the last of the big bullpen arms for the Brewers. So if the Rockies somehow can get past Soria, it'd be very interesting to see who comes in behind him.
Ian Desmond on deck. And then Parra, who got things going for the Rockies, leading off with a base hit in the ninth as Gonzalez goes down, now 2-2. Full count. Carlos Gonzalez leading off the top of the 10th for the Rockies in a 2-2 game. As we settle in extra innings. 4 years ago today, October 4th, 2014, that 18-inning classic. Washington Nationals, San Francisco Giants. Postseason record 18-inning game. It took 6 hours, 23 minutes. Brandon Belt with the game-winning home run in the 18th as Gonzalez strikes out. One away. I don't want to put any ideas in your heads, guys.
You got me silent right now.
18 innings is nothing for you, Kenny. You did a 20-inning game once, so 18 is you did that. That's old hat for you.
Mets and St. Louis Cardinals back in 2010. Speaking of 20, here's number 20, Ian Desmond. He's 0 for 3 today. JP, you have memories of that 18-inning game 4 years ago today?
I do. I was there, and Ian Desmond was as well, the Nationals' starting shortstop in that game 1.
And he is at the plate right now. Mentioned earlier, a Montreal Expos draft pick. There actually is one other who was active this year, although he was not at the beginning of the season. Brandon Phillips, also drafted by the Expos, came back mid-season, signed with the Red Sox. And Ian Desmond wears number 20 in honor of Frank Robinson. He did not play for Frank at the major league level, but the Hall of Famer was the Nationals manager when Desmond was coming up through the national system. 2-1 from Soria. Into the glove of Moustakas. Chance of loose from the crowd here at Miller Park. 2 away as Desmond is retired.
Just a bullet off the bat of Ian Desmond. Moustakas, nice play. Almost knocked his glove off. Desmond hit this ball so hard, but right to him. Perfect defensive alignment by the Brewers. Great reactions.
109 miles an hour off the bat.
Hit harder than Christian Yelich's home run. It was only 107, so sometimes exit velocity doesn't matter. More about launch angle.
2 away. Here's Parra, who got the Rockies rally started in the top of the 9th with a leadoff single off Jeffress. We've seen 12 pitchers in this game, 6 on each side. More pitchers than base hits. Total of 10 hits and 4 runs. Yelich, Braun, Shaw due up for Milwaukee in the bottom half. The 1 to Parra, foul back, 0-2. The 0-2 from Soria. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gerardo Parra, the former Brewer, spent parts of the 2014 and 2015 seasons here in Milwaukee. There's Gio Gonzalez up in the Brewers' pen. The 2-2 foul back to the screen.
Just another professional bat here by Parra. Base hit coming off the bench his first time to get the rally going, and now a long at bat off Soria here. This is why veteran guys are so important on the bench in the playoffs for good teams. Saw Matt Holliday come off the bench, big hit. Gerardo Parra, 2 great at bats so far. These guys have been through it. They know what to expect in these big situations, know how to slow the game down.
Tony Walters on deck, the last position player available. The hero on Tuesday night.
Oh, hold on. No, he's actually gone because he came in the game in last inning to double switch to catch. So they actually have nobody left on their bench.
He was the last.
I think they're calling me in there, me and Coney, to come in if they need another pinch hitter.
Walters with the game-winning RBI in the 13th. Early Wednesday morning, just after midnight, Central Time at Wrigley, to push the Rockies into this National League Division Series.
We got to get the cameras off the fans in Milwaukee. Every time we show one, they look like they've already lost this game. They're tied in the 10th inning. There's a lot of long faces, sad faces.
Like Jerry Tarkanian there, biting the towel.
Another. Where's the smiles? There's no smiles in Milwaukee right now in the Brewers fans. Everyone sweating it out.
Deep right center off the bat of Parra. Back of the warning track, it's Yelich who makes the catch. And the Rockies are retired in order in the top of the 10th. A pump just from Soria. We head to the bottom half. We have a huge day of college football on Fox. First, the Red River rivalry. Texas and Oklahoma, followed by Indiana taking on third-ranked Ohio State. Coverage begins at 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Christian Yelich leads off for the Brewers. Bottom of the 10th inning against Adam Ottavino. Working his second inning out of the Rockies' pen. Yelich, a 2-run shot back in the third to give Milwaukee a 2-0 lead. Colorado tied the game with 2 in the top of the 9th. Yelich, then Braun, then Shaw.
Interesting matchup here. No lefty warming up. You got Yelich, left-handed hitter, Braun, right-handed hitter, Shaw, left-handed hitter, all with power. And Bud Black's decided to stick with his best reliever he feels right now is Ottavino. They've used their lefties. They have none remaining, so but Ottavino for a second inning. See what happens.
They used Rustin and Musgrave, the left-handers in the bullpen. Ottavino, the 6th Rockies pitcher of the game. Retired the Brewers in order in the bottom of the 9th. More chance of MVP for Christian Yelich.
If you're the Brewers, there's nobody you'd rather have up leading off this inning right now than Christian Yelich. An on-base machine in the second half. And with nobody on base leading off, this guy will put an at-bat on you and will find a way to get on first base.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Yelich leading off for the Brewers. Bottom of the 10th inning. Payoff pitch from Ottavino, missing high and away. Ball 4, leadoff walk to Yelich in the 10th. The MLB at Bat app brings every postseason moment to your favorite devices. Catch every moment with features such as live radio broadcasts, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. It's your #1 app for live baseball. Mound visit from Bud Black. Leadoff walk to Yelich. And now Ottavino will face Ryan Braun. Braun 3 for 13 lifetime against Ottavino.
Interesting visit there from Bud Black, the manager, who's obviously was a pitcher and a pitching coach, but nobody warming up. That was just a pump up, a little bit of strategy, what we're going to do here to give Adam Ottavino a little confidence, a little boost of, hey, you're my guy.
Yelich takes his lead off first. Braun with 2 hits in the game. Game 1 of the National League Division Series, best of 5. Game 2 here tomorrow. (1-0) from Ottavino. Off the glove of the catcher, Walters. Yelich now in scoring position.
Just thinking, will Yelich run? He ran earlier in this situation with Brian Braun, but now with the wild pitch, he takes the running, the stolen base, at least of second out of it, and Brian Braun has to get him over to third with 1 out. Just a yank, just a yank.
Now the 2-1. In for a called strike. 2-2.
I was sitting on slider. I know Braun was sitting on slider. He got a fastball in the outside corner.
Well, a perfect pitch by Ottavino right there. If you're facing this guy and you're right-handed hitter, you know you're going to get a slider at some point. So a perfect pitch call and better execution. With the way the Rockies defense is lined up, if Ryan Braun somehow can hit a ground ball to the right side, almost the entire right side of the infield's open with DJ LeMahieu, the second baseman, holding Christian Yelich on.
Braun down on strikes, one away.
Threw the fastball to get back even in the count, and a devastating slider to Braun to strike him out.
This is what pitchers can do. You're up there trying to hit the ball to the right side. You're looking slider because you know Ottavino. Perfect pitch, 2-1 to get to 2-2. Now a slider, and he played off Ryan Braun's over anxiousness. He starts it on the plate after the fastball that came back and just runs it off the plate. Ryan Braun anxious to get the runner to third. Expands, swings and misses, and there's one out.
Yeah, you got the call on the fastball on the 2-1 pitch just off to set up the slider.
The strikeout followed by an intentional walk to Travis Shaw. Curtis Granderson has come out of the Milwaukee dugout. A 15-year vet, 3-time All-Star. Started this season with the Toronto Blue Jays. Played in 19 games with the Brewers.
Another veteran bench guy on a good team coming off getting a huge at-bat for their team in the postseason.
Acquired in late August by the Brewers. Granderson taking part in postseason for the 8th different time in his career. Yelich, runner at second. Shaw following the intentional walk on at first. One out, bottom of the 10th inning. In a 2-2 game. Three infielders to the right side. As Ottavino steps off the mound. Looks Yelich back to second base. Shortstop Story right around second base. Pitch to Granderson in for a called strike. 0-1.
Does Curtis Granderson always have a smile on his face? Every time I see him, talk to him, no matter what happens, he's always the same. He's always happy. He always brings a positive attitude. Just loves being a baseball player and just genuinely a great guy.
Granderson behind 0-2. Moustakas on deck. Yelich represents the potential winning run for Craig Counsell's Brewers. A leadoff walk, and then Yelich moved to second on the wild pitch. Up the middle, Story gets the out at second. So now two away. Yelich moves to third. Runners on the corners for Milwaukee.
The shift takes away a double play, I believe, right here. Because of where Trevor Story's position, that's normally a 6-3 unassisted double play, but because he has to go so far to his right, they have no chance to turn the double play. And Ottavino understands the shift and understands that, hey, maybe it cost me an opportunity to be out of the inning, but I cannot believe they're going to let Moustakas even think about getting a swing right here.
Not a big sample size, David, but in his only career at bat against Ottavino, he took him deep.
1 for 1.
1 for 1 with a home run.
Well, the analytics people say it's small sample size. He's due to make it out, right, David?
Ottavino at first and third here certainly can still pitch Moustakas carefully.
Strike 1.
Well, you have a righty on deck, Manny Pena. You got a lefty up first and third. You gotta. I'm just surprised. That's why Granderson probably didn't take off on the first pitch, but he's got to be at second here shortly. They're not holding him on, so he's got to walk to second base, take away the force.
Ottavino uber aggressive. 2 fastballs right after Moustakas. Jumps up 0-2.
First and third, 2 outs. Bottom of the 10th inning in Milwaukee. The 0-2 to Moustakas.
How close was it to being strike 3? Foul tip. Inches. Tony Walters behind the plate. People come in after you miss one of those or you catch one and they say, hey, way to go, way to catch that. Pure luck. Pure, absolute pure luck. You can't move your hand fast enough to try to catch a foul tip. If it goes in your glove and sticks, great, but if not, it's a bad feeling.
There goes Granderson. Moustakas with a base hit into right field to win Game 1 of this division series for the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers celebrate. Here comes Hernan Perez to join the party. Mike Moustakas with the walk-off base hit, scoring Christian Yelich in the bottom of the 10th inning. For the Brewers, who led this game 2-0 until Colorado scored 2 runs in the top of the 9th to tie it. Time now for the dynamic play of the game, presented by Hankook Tire.
Little surprising, AJ. He goes right after him again. Moustakas, no thought of pitching around him at all. 4 straight fastballs, mostly in the middle of the plate. Moustakas got the last one.
Moustakas had been 0 for 36 this season with an 0-2 count. How about that?
Most of the time, 0-2, you don't get a fastball right down the middle. It was a mistake by Ottavino. Moustakas makes him pay, especially after the foul tip. The thoughts about what do we do? We have Manny Pena on deck. He jumped ahead, and Moustakas made him pay.
Good view right in your living room. Fastball down the middle. Line drive, and the game is over.
The last postseason walk-off hit by a Brewer was by Nyjer Morgan back out in 2011. He threw out the first pitch prior to this game. Comes full circle in Milwaukee as the Brewers take game one in extra innings. And then they get wet. Moustakas, the hero. He is with J.P. Morosi. JP.
Thank you, Kenny. Mike, what kind of deep breath did you take when that foul tip was not caught?
Oh, I turned back and I saw he dropped it. I was like, I got another life. That's a great pitcher on the mound. Trying to put the ball in play, and got a good pitch to hit, and did that.
Mike, all those games you played in Kansas City like this, how much do they help you in that at-bat?
Oh, a lot. You know, the more experience you get, more exposure you get in these situations, your heartbeat slows down just a little bit, and, you know, just focusing on the moment, not letting it get too big or too small.
You're hearing this crowd in Milwaukee chant your name. What do you think back on all the things that happened to put you here in this moment?
Oh, I'm just happy to know that the Brewers gave me a chance to come play some postseason baseball. I mean, there's nothing like October baseball, and you know, I'm fortunate enough to be here. Fortunate enough to be playing such a great stadium and city with fans, and it's just been a lot of fun so far.
And lastly, Mike, who do you want to say hello to back you're watching at home?
Say hi to Dad, all my sisters. My wife is here, my kids. It's awesome, man. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see them. It'll be good.
Enjoy it, Mike. Thanks so much.
Really good to see you.
Kenny, back to you.
All right, thanks, JP. Moustakas drives in Yelich in the bottom of the 10th. Second postseason walk-off in franchise history. Thanks to our producer, Aaron Stoikov, director, Jim Lynch, associate director, Jordan Harrison, broadcast associate, Sam Younger. For David and AJ, Kenny Albert saying so long. Now to Kevin Burkhardt in Los Angeles.